I know I haven't been perfect. You've seen me at my worst, and you're more than aware of my many missteps that I have made along the way. Yet by the grace of God, we're standing here today. I'm grateful for your companionship, for sticking by my side even when we haven't seen eye to eye. You're my anchor to this crazy-ass world, and you have taught me to love somebody in a way I never believed possible. I promise to love you, to cherish you, to grow older, and to grow wiser by your side.
Dearest Ty, I knew you were the one from the very first day we met. It was that day in January, cold and wet, at Dos Penderas, sharing burritos and getting to know each other. That I knew you were something special. Celebrating your birthday and Valentine's Day. What a special moment that was. A special ever after, from getting our first pet, our first apartment together, our first car. You're the most special person to me. From then, now, and forever, you're the best. I promise to love you always, as much as the first holidays together, to when we're old and completely lose our minds. I will take care of you the same way you will for me. We're partners on this giant space rock forever until the end of time.
That was beautiful, and Rhody, a beautiful time. And that's what this is said. The universe works in beautiful, beautiful ways. You guys are such beautiful souls. I'm so happy for you. By the power invested in me, by the Church of the Holy Smoke, by the universe, by Gaia, I now pronounce you spouse and spouse, husband and husband. Oh, yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
You did it!
We seal this ceremony. May it not be undone by no entity. You may exchange rings. Let this be forever and ever. Amen.
More kissing. More kissing.
that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you did to, oh, why can't oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dreams that you dare to, why, oh, why can't I?
Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of The Uninvited Guest, and not just another episode. This is going to be the final episode of The Uninvited Guest. Unlike the These People Are Idiots segment that we do here on the channel, The Uninvited Guest has been a journey into detailing Larry's life, his biography, his stories, his journey, and ultimately, I think him and I both agree that there was something to be done by the end of this, and that there was conclusions to reach, and that by the end of it, we would both be better people, and that people be saved, and that people hear a message of love, of light, of aliens, of political madness, of historical tales, of cool journeys. And 7 is the number of completion.
Absolutely.
So I think that this was a
Yeah, it is.
perfect fucking segment. This has been one of the favorite things I've ever done in my entire life, is doing these episodes with you, Larry. So I'm very grateful for you reaching out and speaking out. And with that, I'm going to give it up to you, man. This is your show.
Well, you know what? Hello, everybody. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have survived the first 6 episodes. I was in a very ugly spot mentally, but mostly physically. A house that was riddled with mold, black mold. It was when it would rain inside the walls. I would plug in stuff and fire would shoot out the plugs. The kitchen caught on fire while we were there. I had a landlord who would put in $20 worth of parts. It'd take him 6 hours to do so, paying a guy $50 with no license to do it. And at the end of the day, after they hit on my girlfriend and then afterwards my then wife, now wife, they'd take turns hitting on her, oogling her and shit, and then they'd pull out $20 worth of parts and call it a day and go home. What a great life they had going on there. Yeah. So, man, yeah, some things you just have to walk away from, and that little situation, I tried to get that guy to fix that place, and to no avail. He'd rather I don't know what he'd rather do, but it most certainly wasn't his job or his responsibilities towards society or as a whole. It's just chasing his own I don't know, ugly little needs or whatever, her desires. Yeah, not my circus, not my monkey now. Oh man, yeah, I just don't get it how some folks can run around in the same circle, knowing that they're running in this circle, and continue to say, well, I've been running in a circle so long, why should I stop now? And because I've got a nice little rut here. It works real well. And I can do it. I know what to do. I run in a circle, which translates to Homer's job at the nuclear plant. I push the button. What do you do, Homer? Well, I'm head of this department, and your job consists of I push this button right here. Oh, how many times a day? I'm not sure really. Sometimes I'll just set up that little bird that pecks, and I'll have it do my job while I sleep and eat donuts. But I know that the button's getting pushed, and as long as the button's getting pushed, hey, we're all safe from nuclear destruction. And that's kind of where we're at as a society. If you hear
And
whining, my dog Gigi thinks she has something trapped behind the water cooler. So she's convinced there's something down there, and she has it pinned. And it's just a matter of time before she can pounce and complete its life.
Yeah, we both got a zoo going.
So,
Don't mind if there's a meow or two in the background of mine. But
yeah,
it's funny
I
you're
saw a cute
talking,
little kitty.
right?
Yeah, how
But no,
about it?
it's
Cute
just like
little
you're
kitty
talking
there,
about running in circles, and just when you're
right?
talking about people running in circles and never breaking free of that, I think we all agree that society's under a spell, and a lot of spells, a lot of this work, it happens in circles. The summoning circle, a circle with the pentagram. If we want to break the circle or the spell, we literally have to break the rut. We have to break the repetitive patterns. We have to step out of our comfort zone, and we have to seek change and
Yeah,
want to seek change.
yeah, exactly. So I'm seeking change by taking this dark side of my face. I'm going to shut this light on, turn this light on, and see if it didn't help. I'll be right back, folks.
Okay, I'm gonna let the kitty out.
Yeah, it must be. It must be a mouse. I'm sure. Or maybe we can set down a glue trap or something that will catch it. Fairly certain Joe's got to trap or whatever. And oh my! So bong hit time as
Oh
we
yeah.
run minutes.
Let's go. Go. Lead it. Let's lead it. Go. Go. Lead it.
This and I've got a THCA that goes on top of it, and then a sauce, flavored sauce that pours in over it. Oh my goodness! It only takes a couple
Yeah,
of
I just
hits.
learned
It'll
about
last you.
THCTA or THCA today. Like, so
THCA,
much of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, acidic, and it's means that it's not to the point to where it has been turned to THC proper. Still in its acidic form, and yeah, THCA is we'll do it around as life happens, and um, you know, oh my goodness, hard to keep a thought track. THCA or THC acidic is the only thing known to regrow brain cells, although other things like what I believe was a frankincense claims to, a couple other things claim to, but there's no research to back that up. Anybody can claim anything. There is scientific research behind the THCA that was done in the early 70s, 74. The study that of CBD also touched upon THC and THCA. That when the government patented CBD as a cure for breast cancer and simultaneously declared that it had no medical value while they held the patent on it for a cure for cancer, which is kind of still what we're looking at. People running around in that circle and the elite going, ha ha ha, you fools. My mother died of breast cancer. Would have been nice to give her CBD or at least know that that existed at a time that was a well kept secret.
Yeah, today I was
Went all
actually
the way.
talking.
Yeah.
No, today I was actually talking with my stepbrother in the car, and we were actually having this conversation. And he was saying, he
Right.
was like, "You remember that hype whenever everybody thought that we had the cure for cancer?" And I was like, I don't think it was a hype. I think that they definitely have the cure for cancer, but realistically, look at the way the media works now. They would never even think of considering to release something like that unless there was a media uproar for it, but nobody talks about it anymore. He said from his perspective, you only ever really see celebrities getting cancer now. You don't ever really hear about the cancer stories. And I think there's a lot of
Right.
truth to that.
Well, sure there is. That's because nobody cares if John's mom has cancer or grandma has cancer. Nobody gives a shit. You know, I have CMO Cannabis Medicine Online. It's the very first website to provide cannabis as a medicine. First off, as a medicine, and second off, to provide it to those in other states using the same laws that they use to service the first 13 patients that came from this study in 1972 done in San Francisco by two scientists who I believe are still alive, or at least one of them is. And this went all the way to the Supreme Court, and I met the lawyer that took it there, who had the laws written for them to be able to send this cans of 300 joints. I know everybody who's been in or an old school cannabis head has seen the can of 300 joints that they give once a month. There are 3 patients left of the 13 original patients, one of which lives here in Eugene. She's a sweet old lady. She got pulled over by the state police about 4 years ago, and they tried to put her in jail for her can of joints. Boy, that was a
Jeez.
mistake. I think that officer lost his retirement, and damn sure
Four
lost his
years
dad.
ago? That's
Yeah.
well past legalization.
Oh, sure.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're only allowed to have an ounce at a time. So he waited way
Oh,
more
that's
than
right.
he was going with. Idiot. There's 4 sets of cannabis laws in the state of Oregon, in addition to the 2 sets of federal cannabis laws that are now, I believe, 3 sets of federal cannabis laws. Why don't you just pick one and go with that?
Yeah.
Don't combine them or try to use them to your advantage or think that you can sneakily, but this one over here says this, so you're going to bitch. Hey, that bitch is my grandmother. Leave her the fuck alone and don't let her die of cancer because you're too ignorant to know the difference. You know,
Damn right.
yeah. Which brings me to the point to where my wife Jennifer is. You've all heard her throughout the meetings, our shows. She's the one that keeps me on track, that keeps me in line. That is my inspiration, and we are together as lovers. We are fire and ice. We fuel each other, we feed each other, and we love each other completely. To the point of some days it's misery, and other days it's well. I could only wish you guys to have such completion in your lives. Um,
Yeah, and hey,
she's
for
being
those who
held.
don't know, just to throw it in right there, Larry
Yeah,
married me
go
and
ahead.
my husband a few weeks ago, and I just want to say publicly, thank you for that. It was a beautiful wedding.
It was, and I was happy to perform it. Although my health that day, they had just about had me there at that house. Uh, I'm now recovering. I can think somewhat. I'm getting my thought ability, my ability to speak is coming back to me. So I'm, as Jennifer says, I'm getting my wits back. I'm getting my wits about me back. And gosh, if only I'd been able to act upon, you know, our time together then with the clear head that I have now, then things would be even more magical than they were. And so that's what it's about. She's being held in Dallas, Oregon, under a federal charge of delivery of a controlled substance um, that resulted in a bad thing for a person. That resulted in a death. She gave this man a a cotton of an opiate. She had a drug problem from when she was younger. She's no longer using drugs. She is clean and happier for it. But she was put through the system. Guys sent somebody over there. Here, try this. It feels good, And she's looking something for. Damn it. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Yeah. So, anyways, she's there. Allegedly innocent until proven guilty. The person that gave this man the actual drug that killed him was his girlfriend. She's since admitted it. Has appealed to the family, apologizing, begging forgiveness. She called it law enforcement and told them to no avail, as they have refused to stop prosecution of Jennifer. Despite this, I guess they'll charge two different people with the same crime. One did it, one didn't. They don't care because they do the task that's in front of them. And they run in that little circle because they don't know how to stop running in the circle. And now she's in a situation. She has infection in her body from the many years of opiates take a toll upon your body. 85% of opiate users die of infection. And this is an accept number. So they expect you to, so they don't help. Oh, well,
Do you want to explain the leg a little bit? Just to kind of give a further detailing of what that is? Because that leg, when we went to visit you at the hospital, that was one of the worst things I think I've ever seen. That was really bad.
Yeah, her skin was turning black. Skin was sloughing off. They left her in her own filth. They refused to change the sheets. Some nurses would come in, refuse to treat her because she used drugs and she got what she deserved. Two of the hospital staff filed formal complaints against the hospital because they were appalled at the treatment that she was getting. She's
They were
there
touching
trying
her
to get
without
help for the
gloves,
infection.
like
Yeah, touching her without gloves. They're slamming doors that they have to be there. Slam, slam, slam. Fine. This is bam, fine. If you go and look up Larry Bollinger 10 at gmail.com, there's 15 minutes of this doctor acting inappropriately with my wife.
and I'll clip some of it here too for sure.
Okay, yeah, because you get around 5 minutes or so, and you can see where he no longer cares. He's no longer listening. The only time he'll speak to me is to what he considers shutting me down. And
well, like whenever she said at the end, like they're making a comment on drug use, and he was just dismissive. It's like no matter what somebody's situation is, it's not your job to be judge, jury, and executioner. Your job is to be a professional, whether that's a medical professional or a law enforcement professional. You need to stick to your job and keep your biases out of the equation. It's the judicial system's job to push the justice. And these doctors
yeah,
and these prison guards, these police officers, it really does start to feel like they're feeling a little more like they're above everybody, like they're God. Like they can just make these silly decisions like it has no
decisions.
impact on somebody's life, no matter what that person's doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, this in this instance, Jennifer, who requires one of my good friends is a doctor. He ran 3 Kaiser Permanentes across the valley from Clovis, California to Sonora, California. He's no joke. He had he was a go-to guy. I mean, he was a go-to guy, and in my opinion, still is. He evaluated every minute, poured over her 15-minute video, other videos that I shot for him. He would request, I want to see this. I want to see how the body reacts to this and that and the other thing. and I would accommodate through video chat. Turned it all over to him. His recommendation is that she needs to be in a level 1 trauma center immediately, or she is in risk of losing her life at minimum limb. Now since then she has a abscess in her groin area, and they're calling it a hernia. This lady who needs help distributing an aspirin has diagnosed her and determined that she'll be just fine. Do your fucking time, bitch. Stop whining. Take the deal, or else, you got till the 19th when Trump comes in office. Once Trump comes in office, we're going to charge you with 20 years. Despite everything else, like the fact that you didn't do it, that doesn't matter because we run our own circle, and fuck you. You're not me. You're not my mom. You're not my kid. So I don't care about you. And this is what I'm looking at. So I filed a formal complaint with the Department of Justice, and now I'm seeking licensure. I'll be out to disbar another attorney to seize more retirement, because this is the type of stuff that when you can callously disregard human life and essentially spit on people's lives for no reason in a country where we're all innocent until proven guilty. But if you're behind a bar, you're guilty here,
Yeah.
And unless you take that plea deal, which is the plea deal that happens every day, it's against the law, right? It's totally against the law. It's against federal law. And neither of the feds are using it to strong arm her into a situation to where she becomes a meal for them because she's a bed, which means she's money. So it's disgusting. So go ahead. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, please.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What was your thought?
We can cut this out if you like. And if you don't want to discuss it on camera, you're more than welcome to. But do you want to tell the folks listening out here what your plea deal proposal was, since we've shared a lot on this channel already?
Yeah,
not, I'll respect
they
that.
wanted to go do 2 years. They want her to do 2 years. Actually, it's more than 2 years because she has like 4 or 5 for time served. They're wanting to round out at 2 more years in addition to this. And if she doesn't take the deal, that they're going to charge her with the death. Her charge is a misdemeanor to begin with, and so they're going to try to give her. If she doesn't do what they say, if you don't do it, I say, if you don't do it, you're told. Then we're going to give you 20 years, which is essentially a death sentence behind bars. I mean, the man who killed my son, his name was Frank Dryman. He was the longest absconder of justice, which is ironic because that's what they're saying she did. She absconded from justice. And the fact was that the grand jury that they had wouldn't agree to convict her because they just didn't see that there was enough evidence. They were everyday Joes like you and I. And they said, "Well, it's just not here. You're reaching, you're stretching," and so they didn't do it. They refused to sign an order, and this waylaid everything. Eventually, they overran the grand jury and decided to prosecute without a grand jury. So they're essentially now they're just writing roughshod. Now we've got a group of vigilantes, okay, and I don't know of any other way to put it. They're vigilantes, and they're going to get her, and um, a lot of extenuating circumstances to this. Jennifer was one of the few in Oregon. There was 2 detectives who were using their power to pull people out of their cells, women, and they would sexually abuse them, beat them, rape them, sell them. And Jennifer was one of those, and this guy had a fixation on her. One of the two that were eventually brought to trial and given 20 to life, I believe, is what their sentence was. One died behind bars, and the other's alive still. Several of the girls got multi-million-dollar settlements. Jennifer got chased down to Southern California because she didn't want to die. A lot of them died in the streets, were killed here and there. They were hunted down and killed. She didn't want to be with one of the ones that was hunted down and killed. She escaped out of the car one night and hid under a porch, and it's an awful thing. It's its own horror story in its own. Worthy more time than uninvited guest, which is merely my own coming to terms with the reality that's around us all. And this is something that was forced down upon her against her will. Seems that women are stronger. Yeah, they're stronger. And they're targets more often than not. Manipulated and pushed into whatever situation that the stronger of the two can. You will do this. You will run in this hole. You will run in this circle. Goddamn it, bitch! And it just makes me sick to my fucking stomach that this kind of shit goes on. So, had she had her multi-million-dollar settlement like everybody else did, she could have the lawyers to laugh in their face, and they could take this thing and put these vigilantes where they go, and that's to a job that says, "Would you like fries with that?" Because that's where somebody like that belongs. If you refuse to do your job, if you dictate what your job is in a situation where you take an oath to protect your country, to protect the integrity of your office, and I duly swear to fulfill my obligation to my office, blah, 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 blah. Like doctors take a Hippocratic oath. Hippocratic oath. Yeah.
Damn right.
and I had a doctor. Well, I don't know. He was drinking cocaine in his coffee. So, walked into somebody's house. Him and his wife had been in a field for 3 days, waiting for the drug cartel people to come. I believe I touched upon this in an early episode. Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately it comes to one statement is we all got problems, but problems are a solution that hasn't happened yet. Okay? That's what a problem is. And this is what we need to work on as a society, as people in our own, to better ourselves, to be our best us, to produce an environment of love and learning and fulfillment, and save us from they expect this planet to live another 20 years before it's destroyed to the point to where they're talking total society wipeout by, I believe, AI says 2060. Other MIT says 2040.
Nothing past 3,000.
Yeah, right. And the thing is it's not going to our planet. Our planet shake us off like a bad habit, and it'll still be there, and it'll still get by, and still be here. Just any aspect of us will be gone.
Yep. At that point, it's do we make it that far and some of us survive, or do we leave enough behind that's permanent enough to make a lasting change that it makes it into the next world?
Yeah, exactly. Well, do we go down into these tunnels underneath into Middle Earth and into that other planet that Earth is two planets and one went into the middle of another? And do we believe these stories of Antarctica and how Hitler and his flying bells, went down and met the light people and, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Is this a
I mean,
thing
I've
or
seen
not?
enough tall whites popping up on video this year to be like, all right, it's happening. They all have the
Oh, it's
astral
happening.
cord.
There's no
It's coming out
fucking
of their
doubt
limbs
about it.
instead
It's
of our.
happening.
I got a
Yeah,
question for you on that. Just a quick theory that I do want to pick
sure.
your brain on. Because in these videos, you
Okay.
see them in Florida. There was someone recently who put out a security cam that showed them walking from a forest onto a path into a building and phasing through walls. These things, you
Yeah,
know how when humans astral project, there's typically a cord associated with the belly button. Theirs comes from what seems like their shoulders or their arms or their limbs. What do you think the reason may be for the
huh.
different placed cords? Because it seems like they're projecting into our reality in a sense. And if that's the same as astral projection, I just kind of wonder your thoughts on that.
They are okay. Yeah, and I believe I have an answer for this, and I just got a chill because I remember the first time I said the cord from the belly button thing, and I mentioned that in a talk. Several people would come over and they'd want to know my opinion of, and we would hold church in my garage. Okay. Um, these meetings started when my son, dyslexic, went to college. And when my children went to college, I took a lot of their courses for them. My daughter Rachel is she has her master's in special education. She's going to quit third year. She couldn't take it. It was too much. She's just going to drop out and stop and go work at a restaurant.
It's a
So
hard line of
absolutely not.
work. I know a couple ladies that do that, and
Absolutely
they got to
fucking
be a
not.
soldier.
Follow your dreams.
It's insane.
Follow your dreams. Yeah, soldier on. Do what it takes. And she couldn't write. She could not write these papers that were required of her. So I would ask her opinion. I would ask her what her mindset was and what she wanted to convey. I'm not doing it for her, but I would take her dictation and write these for her. And if it required so many words, I would fluff this or fluff that and extend it. And I know how to fill a page. You want to talk for an hour about nothing? Oh, then you can be a teacher too, because in a lot of situations that's what they do. They'll talk for an hour about nothing. Like the landlord that comes over and spends most of his time trying to get lucky, and and then takes his ball and goes home at the end of the day. Well, fine, she's not going to sit lap when you're in the other room. I give up, fucker. You're going to die in here of mold. You deserve what you get. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. How people are so fucking broken and so tainted and so uh,
Fucking jaded.
they're hopeless, jaded. Yeah, that's a really good word. They're jaded. They're so used to demanding. Um, I can't wrap my head around. Just like Jennifer's defense team. Every time I call them and I beg them to do their job, they decide what charge they're going to level against me and what they're going to charge me with. So they've on 3 separate occasions were preparing to file charges against me simply because they didn't agree with what I said over the phone. And my opinion is cramping day. It goes with what they against their grain of we're going to put her in and she's going to do time because we don't defend anybody. We make deals. We're the deal makers. And you'll do what we say or else we'll take you and we'll put you in there too and see how you like it, motherfucker. And yeah. Eastern Plains Council of Government, multi-million-dollar organization that was tapped into New Mexico's financial situation, had control of thousands of apartment units. They were skimming off of everyone. They were charging co-pays, and they were keeping the co-pays to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. I ruffled their feathers, as I tend to do. Nobody kind of likes me. You're all in or you're all out. That's no secret. And so they threatened to throw Christopher out, but not just any day. She calls and tells me Christmas Eve that she'll have him out on Christmas Day, and he can spend his Christmas Day out in the fucking snow without his shit because she's gonna lock him out and sell his shit.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and I'm
remember
like,
that call.
you
It's fucking fucked.
got to be kidding me. You absolutely have to be kidding me. So no, she backed it up, doubled down, and so yeah, you know, and I totally lost track of what I was going to say. So yeah, that thought just went right out my head.
It'll come back.
Yeah, hopefully it will come back. And yeah, so here's my mail, my bills, and a social security letter. So hey, good deal. Yeah, man. All I know is that things need to change. We need to do better. We need to stay focused, just like I need to stay focused. And we need to get not called away by this distraction or that other distraction. And that's what we need to do. We need to focus. We need to become finishers, and we need to help each other finish. And this is what's not going on in the world. Okay, this is not what's happening. And in light of that, we stumble and we fall. You know. And now, sadly, my wife is going to. I read 3 letters of her vividly describing her treatment there. It's appalling. They have her on improper medications, over-the-counter drugs, and then they don't give them to her because they don't have a prescription for those over-the-counter drugs. Because apparently you're supposed to have a prescription for them, and so she'll go a week without them, and you know, it's just a clusterfuck. It was literally a train fucking wreck of idiocy, and nobody's stepping in it to stop this train from rolling over her and killing her, which is an infection that's running through her body that everybody says needs to be fixed, but nobody can agree upon. The attorneys in the situation, the attorneys of record, do agree that she needs a medical release, but they don't like me, so they don't want her to come to me, so they're not going to give her a medical release because they don't like the cut of my fucking jib. I'm a dirty fucking hippie, and I made him angry on the phone in a 2-minute conversation a month ago, and it stung because I fucking slapped him and I poured vinegar in that fucking wound of their idiocy, and that hurt because nobody fucking pokes the bear, and I'm the fucking bear, and I run this roost, and you do what I say or else. And that kind of shit is what needs to stop. Okay, that's what needs to stop. That's what needs to be eradicated from our lives is idiocy, redundancy of idiocy, and condoning idiocy, promoting idiocy, and funding idiocy, backing it. Hey, you know, this idiot's my fucking idiot. I voted for this idiot. He belongs to me. Oh, and he's in my back pocket. So you fuck with me and you'll fuck with my hits. My God, it's just never ending cluster of dumbness. And this is exactly why I don't win friends and influence people when I'm talking to those in government, because none of it. Here's a goddamn dog to chase a mouse again. So, yeah. You know, and here we go. So it's like, there's my distraction for the night. Now I'll be chasing the dog who's chasing the mouse because it's easier to go up there and go to sleep.
But despite all that,
man,
despite all that, you still went to the
despite all the distraction.
Well, no, I was
I
saying
went to who?
despite all that, the DOJ. Do you want to explain
Yeah,
why you went
I've
to
had
the Big
enough. I
Bear?
went to the Department of Justice, and I went to and I filed a formal complaint because they will look at this. They will see the recommendation of the doctor. I mean, and hopefully they'll do the right thing instead of just ignoring it. You know, they could ignore it. I don't know. Um, Tomorrow I'll be calling news crews and alerting them to the fact that they're going to that they're causing a situation that could put somebody in a lot of damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
so
do you wanna
yeah, that's the thing.
do you want to detail at all any of the other information that we discussed, or is that off camera?
Um, I'll
The
detail anything you want. What do you want to pinpoint?
the trafficking.
Oh, yeah, I broke up a kitty porn thing 3 years ago. It cost me my fucking eye. You know, um, and this is a situation where state police agencies were taking these children from motel to motel to accommodate those in NAMBLA who were buying these children because money talks and bullshit walks. Doesn't mean everybody in this organization was dirty, but it damn sure happened. Okay, now it's happening again, and they're at it again. They're running this thing all the way up I-5 up through the state of Oregon, all the way down through the state of California and on up into Washington. And it's everywhere. It's starting to spread like a fucking disease. They're using these children for sexual objects for monetary gain. They didn't give two shits about these kids that they've taken out of the system by putting people in positions of power and where they should be protecting them, to, you know, children's youth and families. And these scumbags have got their wives in there saying, pick the weakest ones, the ones that can't defend themselves, the mothers that aren't prepared to come after or give two shits because they're care more about their drugs. Take these kids, put them in the state's care, and we'll put them in a foster home over there at Uncle Billy's house, and we'll let Uncle Billy do whatever the fuck Uncle Billy wants. And after hours, we'll just ship them around here to there and everywhere. And this goes on daily, all across the United States, and it is what happens. It is more the norm than it is not. You know, and it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting, and and
And you know
yet
enough
it's
to bring
allowed to
attention
go on.
to it. Like
I'm not supposed to bring attention to it. I went over where my 15-year-old at the time, 15-year-old granddaughter was, and I um, uh, found her at a place. Knocked on the door. This guy answers the door. First thing I can see is that somebody had taken a knife and put it into the pupil of his eye, went like that. And there was a knife blade tip in his eye. And I thought, oh, okay, well, this guy obviously pissed off somebody who is willing to do something like that. So I need to take this guy at a higher rate. He is ding, 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 my spider senses tingle. My training kicks in, and I'm on high alert with this motherfucker who has my dog. Right. I walk in, and first thing happens is his mother from across the room. Oh, you're here for Macy? She's a sweet girl. Oh, this is my son. If you know what he had planned for her, you'd shoot him in the head right fucking now. He turns around, fuck you, you bitch. Fuck you, you fucking cunt. Right? And I'm going, oh my God, I got here just in time, you know, to save my little girl. And so I see her for a second. She goes to get her clothes, and her going to get her clothes was her trying to jump the fence to escape again. And because I told her, no, you know, you can't do this. You have to do your homework. And well, I took her to the doctor's appointment where they put her on the kick and put her on birth control and says, you know, your grandpa's pretty abrasive. We don't really care for him. You'd be better off living in the streets downtown. And she left that day because her fucking doctor told her to. And
And that's
shit
what
like
happens to a
this, you
lot of
know,
these kids
goes
in
on every
downtown
day.
Eugene. It's so many kids. It's a lot of kids that my husband knew, and it's a lot of people that I met. This is more than a small problem. It's a fucking culture in Oregon. It's its own
Oh,
separate
absolutely.
branch of homelessness. It's so there's always someone there to catch them and to give them drugs and to give them that party life that mommy and daddy said no to. It's
Yeah,
vile.
exactly. And then run them through a fucking, and then they film it and they fucking make money off of it, and now they're child pornographers. Hey, isn't that lovely? Uh, let's get the state to kick in some money for this so we can fund it. Oh,
And
okay.
now they're normalizing
And,
pedophilia to where you can't even fuck with them in the jails anymore. Otherwise, that's a fucking hate crime because they want to put them in the same categories with people in the LGBT community. And to that, I say, fuck you.
yeah, I mean, absolutely. An adult is an adult, and a child is sacred. We don't fuck our kids, okay? Just like
Don't
you
fuck
don't
our future.
fuck your dog or your cat or your horse or your cow or whatever the fuck. You don't fuck your food. I mean, come on, guys, use your fucking head. And you know, I know there's some sick, twisted motherfuckers that out there looking at me going, "Oh, this motherfucker needs to die." Ah,
I got
yeah,
told by
well, piss on.
by a pedophile that faggots like me were why she would never be accepted in society.
That's awful. I need to get this, and this is Jen.
Okay, you want
So
to take a
let's.
break? Okay, shoot me a text when you're done.
All right.
A lot of fun going on in the background. There's a little itty bitty bitty kitten that they got back there. Just took a poop into my stepmom's hands. Barely
Oh
missed
yeah.
my dad's head. Little shit cannon.
Yeah. Well, it's a time of day now that it's after work and after school, and everybody drops by to pay their respects to my roommate, who they call Old Man Joe. He's a good soul. He's a beautiful soul. He is one of the few. Yeah, he's a. Uh, he runs like a halfway house for wayward psychos, and I'm one of the wayward psychos. So, you know, uh, yeah, and that's a thing. I'm grateful to be here.
I'm glad
Although
you
it
had a place
is
to go.
hard to get something done to completion in a situation like that. Go, go. I'm not going to do this with you. Go, 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 go. It's more of a sound thing than anything. Okay, not like I'm beating the dog. Say it to all you
The people get it. We're
people
all
out
out here
there.
living life. We are filming in our living rooms and our rooms after all.
Yeah, well, you know, she went upstairs. She knows she can go up there too. Daddy's up there. She has her own space. She doesn't have to worry about this or that or the other thing. You know, it's just going off of memory. Oh yeah, there was what was. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was running in this hole here. That's what I was doing. It involved a mouse, maybe. So yeah, and that's how we get in our ruts, man. You know, and that's how you get ants, as Archer would tell you. It's fucking right. So, so my wife's up against an insurmountable fucking idiocy group. The blind have led the blind, and they're going to fucking nail her to a cross because that's what you do when you don't know what else to do, and that's what you've been told to do. They are talking medical release now, but she's got to change her plea to guilty and accept her sentence in order to get health care. So it's like, well, admit to something that you haven't done or we kill you. And we're not really killing you, we're just letting you die. And yes, it's against our own laws, but we don't fucking care because we have one goal, and that's to fucking finish this motherfucker out and fuck you over, despite the fact that it's against every law that we've used against you. Those that work for you are simply ignored. And the plea deal that is against federal law, that happens every fucking day. And it's a fucking mockery. And they wonder why guys like me end up, or guys who are just anyone, not with me, because I don't need them coming after me for what I'm fixing to say. But when the postman goes postal and kills everybody in the fucking room, and because of shit like this, or
Yeah.
somebody
No,
goes in
that's the
and
message with this
fire.
channel. That's why so much of the imagery that I present is so violent and brutal. It's like, why do you think that young men like us are snapping? It's the daddy issues and the familial issues all the same. But when you have to keep hearing story
Yeah,
like this over and over and over again, and you know it's so ingrained in our culture and no one's going to do anything about it, well then someone is
yeah,
going to go off and find something to do about it, whether that's taking out their perceived enemy or whether it's joining a
right,
cult or a communist group or a fucking terrorist cell. That's the commonality.
yeah,
And the wayward psychos, as you put it, is why the fuck do they think people snap? That's what they have to fucking
yeah.
realize.
Well,
Why do
that's
you
why
think that
I
people
mean,
end up in these situations where we have to say these
I don't
warnings?
know exactly, and the reality of it is, uh, when I walk into a room, I command the room. People notice that I'm in the room. I fill a room before I go into the room, and that's just how it is. It has always been that way for me, and I recognize it in those other people are perceived as leaders, alpha males, whatever you want to call us, and yeah, and that's a thing. And I could go down there to the Saturday market, to the Free Speech Square, and I could get on a microphone, and I guarantee you, in an hour, I could have a following of hundreds of people. Of those hundreds of people, one of them's going to have access to a lot of land that we could go and start our own society on. And within fucking a month, I could be with those who are grant writers, this and that. And we can become the Republic of Texas. I don't know if you know anything about that, but look that up.
Let's go, Larry. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it. Let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah,
No,
the
and I
Republic
feel
of
that because,
Texas.
like,
Look it up. They made their own license plates. They started tapping into government funds that were only for the state of Texas, and they're writing their own ticket. They're creating their own towns, building their buildings, all off of
now
money that was
let's be very
Texas
clear
tax
about the
money.
current. Yeah, because all that's true. Let's also be clear about the current situation. The police and the law
Yeah,
and the state government, they're not. It's not. Let's say it's not honored to a very large degree. But like, I'm not
yeah,
against the idea if Texas wanted to be its own place and take a couple friends if they want to come. But also, there's also with that
yeah,
is like, I feel like at least with the election, with the amount of unity, with the amount of people waking up right now, I'm actually for once
yeah,
starting to think we can maybe avoid a secessionary move if enough people jump on this moment to pull their heads out of their fucking asses, do something about it, get out of your circle. Maybe we don't all got to split up. Maybe there's a chance for a little reconciliation. But if worst case comes to worst, there's a reason I'm here. Like, because I
yeah,
just want to make sure I'm in the right
yeah,
place.
exactly. Well, it reminds me of the Hare Krishnas in the 60s that would go around in their white robes and their one long bead of hair that was allowed to have with the bead on the end. And they would go around and they would donate or ask for donations from everyone in the airport. Everywhere they went, they were collecting money for, gosh, I can't even remember his name. Sun Young Moon or whatever. I don't fucking know. There's been so many of them come and run, come and gone. All I know is that I've told every wife I've ever been with, the government should be happy that I'm content within myself to not overthrow them, because it would
Hmm.
take it would take me a soapbox and a little megaphone about an hour to create an army to keep me wrapped up like the onion that I need to be, and those would sacrifice their life for me within an hour of hearing me speak. And this is the reality of where we're at, people. And why is it that? That's because we all expect somebody to come save us. Come save me. And then somebody stands up and says, I'll save him. What the fuck? Got any money? Got some, did grandma leave you some property? Yeah, I'll save you. You bet. Thanks for donating to the church. We're stronger now. We can get our message out. Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And here we go, folks. Buckle up, motherfuckers, because you're in for a ride.
Yep.
And, you know.
And I feel that to a large degree too, because like the whole time you're saying all this, and it's not really to be an egotistical statement, but it's like I've seen people follow me. I've like broken down into speeches where like I'm surrounded by dozens, if not 100 people, and people are fucking listening. And you know, I remember one point the militias were out, and there was a large crowd of Black Lives Matter, and Antifa was out, and I had heard from Pipeline that essentially that the parade of people was being moved through by in front of the courthouse to go kind of around the building, and that essentially the militias were waiting there, and everybody just kind of kept talking about it, and the crowd just kind of kept walking away, and I'm like, well, why the fuck aren't we telling the crowd? And it got so fucking infuriating, they got almost a block up the road, and I just fucking stood at the highest place that I could, and I just started screaming literally like Admiral Akbar, it's a fucking trap, it's a trap, back off. And I just kept saying that over and over, it's a trap, it's a trap. And you know, there's a couple people after a minute that were giggling because they're like, hey, Admiral Akbar, but then they're like, oh no, and then everybody started joining. And that's kind of what I feel like you and me are kind of doing right now, is we're trying to tell people like, this is a trap, get out, back off, because they are leading us in a direction where there are going to be, let's be real, the future America faces men with guns, more riots, more gangs, more trafficking. And if people don't
Yeah,
heed that warning and they fall for the trap and they don't try to understand how that trap operates and how to avoid it in all of their daily
right.
lives, because it's gotten, dude, my little sister, just yesterday, we had to take our AI chat away from her. She's about 8 to 11 years old. I'll give a vague age range. She was chatting with an AI from someone called At the Closeted Pansexual, and it was simulations on, I'm your kidnapper. I just put you in the back of a truck. I'm your principal. I hate you. I'm your bully from middle school. And a lot of it was meant to lead you down the sexual rabbit hole, but it was made to look all cute and fluffy. And it's like all these little things, they're getting to these kids so fucking young because they want people to snap like you and I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's disgusting. You know, and those who put out an AI that is unchecked or doesn't have a base regulation on it, or some type of you know, if it's let to deep learn, it could learn that we're a bunch of fucking idiots, just like you and I are saying. It could watch this series and can elect me president, you my vice president, and decide that nobody else is worthy, and launch us into space while it destroys the planet. We go look for the next planet, you know. And this is all
Sci-fi
an
starting to feel more real.
outlandish possibility. You
But
know,
is it?
this
Is it
is
outlandish anymore? Like, the
and it's
timing of
scarily
this
cool.
show couldn't have been so much more beautiful, because these are the days you and I used to sit on the back porch talking about for hours. We would talk about when the aliens would come, and when the people would freak out, and when the riots would break out, and when people would give up their freedom. We're like, give it a few years. They have no fucking idea, man. And when we parted ways, we both wished each other luck when that day came. But it came when we were fucking sitting together having these conversations. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly. Yeah, and I believe that that's as it was planned. I know that I was here my whole life for this time, these videos, this message to get out. Um, you know, I was always awestruck by Jason Offutt, who originally did a story on me. I know I reported it as 30 years ago. It was actually 2008 when he did, and it was called The Haunted Man. Part 1, 2, and 3. Part 2 is gone from the internet for whatever reason.
Oh,
And
I was hoping you would find this.
yeah, it's out there and it's butchered, and it's just his version of what he thought of as he read it.
It's still something, though. It's somebody's perspective of your life story, and it's a way of getting your name out. I'm
it
gonna
was
put it on here
worthy
if I
of,
can.
it was noteworthy for him, and to the point to where he thought it was noteworthy that it would hold somebody's interest for 3 separate weeks, which I didn't ever see him do with anyone else. I definitely left an impression on him, because when I spoke to him via email a year ago, he remembered me, and but he's been blowing me off ever since. But you got to remember, I've had a radiation, I've had a lot of shit go on, to where I sound like a fucking madman, and I'm sure he wants to distance himself from that. But this guy,
Oh,
who
I
I
feel that
highly
when I'm
revered,
emailing
I
people
see him
about the
on.
Antifa stuff. I send an email and then I read it a week or two later, and I'm like, "Oh, if you've never met me, this could be suspicious. This could be unhinged." When really, I'm just like excited and want
Yeah,
to get in
yeah, oh,
touch with somebody, and
absolutely.
I know it's just not translating the same because until you meet somebody,
Yeah,
So for all of
exactly.
the
But
ones
I'm
that broke
looking
through
through
that,
his
thank you.
videos. I'm looking through his videos, and I see our videos. His videos have been up for 12 years, and they have 60 views. You know, some thumbs up, some thumbs down, and this man, who I revered highly, and I still do. He's a great person. He's a brilliant mind. He's an inquisitive mind. He's one of the first ones out there to write upon these subjects that I was aware of, and and one of the first person to actually look at me and take me at face value and not call me a fucking crackpot like most of my friends growing up that have known me my whole life did. You know, so yeah, that's the thing. And I'm seeing that in a week, I have more views than him. Uh, oh, and he's been at it. This video has been up for 12 years, 15 years, and I've got more views in a week, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on there? Yeah, TG,
Well,
go. You know better.
and that's why people have to share these things, which I'll certainly do my part to do, because it's one thing with the channel. It's like if people didn't share these videos, I'd just be sitting in a void back at 12 followers. But because people share, like, I think now is the right amount of time
Yeah,
to generate some interest. And if it were put out here, it'd probably get some more numbers over there, because again, people are taking this
right.
more seriously now than ever. The amount of people in my life right now having paranormal experiences and ET encounters, people who wrote this shit off years ago, who I never thought in a million years would be saying a lot of the things, I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is fucking wild. People are like,
Oh
I
yeah,
keep
man.
saying, no one has fucking called you crazy on this
Yeah.
channel yet, because they know something's happening and they're willing to listen. And that's what people need,
Oh,
is someone
and
willing
it
to
is
listen.
happening, pal. It is happening. I have a ghost box, right? It's a spirit box. It's a random noise generator that perceives what's going on. I had a pot farm in Veneta. Uh, and here's some universal things. This girl I first had a crush on in high school. Uh, Her name's Marilee Prater. Her mom lives in Bonita, grows pot. Uh, Guess what? I did a background check on her when I heard she was close. I said, "Wonder where she's at. Let's see if I can't find her address." And turns out she lived in the same house that my wife Jennifer lived in Idaho,
Whoa.
a couple of months apart for the time, and the same house. And it's like, wow, small world,
Fucking A.
you know, just for that to happen alone. And I'm going through my plethora of Facebook accounts because they'll hit me with shit and then I'll forget my fucking login information. And god damn it, have to start another one.
Feel
I'm into a
that.
lot of them. I need to merge them together and get into the first one because it has priceless information from Betty Haley, my father's first wife, Betty Haley. Um, you may know her as the accountant for Bitcoin, the owner of Macy's, and about 20 other fucking large corporations. And yeah, that's a thing too. So is what it is. Now they're dividing her up, and yeah, it's sad. But my family's Bollinger Winery gave her $10.5 million for research into Lyme disease. She is a brilliant mind, and gave me all of her research, and it's in an archived file in Messenger in that account that I have no access to. So,
Jeez.
hey,
There
there it
has to
is.
be better account recovery systems. There really does. It's
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's a big thing to lose on an account because Facebook's like, well, you only gave us this email, so if you have another,
yeah. Well, I don't
it
have
makes
that
you wonder
phone
what else
anymore,
is just
Facebook.
floating out there.
Are you sure you don't have that phone number? Because I mean, we can send it to that, and that's it. Oh well, let's go to a shed auction, and we're gonna bid $1 on this. Let's open up a box and see how many phones we can pull out. And this was a thing on one channel, YouTube channel. How many phones can I find in this? And that's their thing.
Mhm.
15 in one box. 15 fucking past phones because they upgrade and this one's no good and this one's no longer any good. And you can't just upgrade this. You got to buy the next thing. And
And
now
you're
you
selling
got to
your
buy this
soul
thing.
with each one. Like right now,
Oh yeah,
because I got banned from YouTube, this is weird. So it's like I have to send a picture of my ID in order to create a certain amount of post or to get a certain reach. And it says if I
right.
don't do that, then I can send a picture or a video of my face 6 seconds. And it's just all this dystopian shit to where they're like, you overstepped. Now we need your face. And I'm just like, the fuck you
You have my
do?
face. Look at my fucking photo. Look at my here. This guy over there that says, uh, here he is. Here's Larry. It's me. Hi everybody.
But
Hello
they want
folks.
you to submit. That's the thing. It's they want
Yeah,
us to submit to this system, and it's like, to what extent have we already? Because the mark of the beast it's a choice. It's a choice that's presented to us. But it's like if you want the fancy account recovery systems, if you want the fancy security measures, you gotta literally give up a piece of your fucking DNA, your soul, your facial recognition. You gotta plug fully into this matrix, which is ultimately going to become a neural network in the end.
right.
Like, at what point do we tap out and say no to the technology? I don't even like doing self checkouts anymore. It just feels fucked. But hey, look what happened when people stopped using self checkouts. That died out pretty quick, didn't it? Those are going away. So it's like if we refuse to
Well,
submit
thank
to
God because
these,
what they do is they put that shit there, and if you don't click it right, then you're a thief, and and they'll come and watch you, but they won't come do the work. They'll come and glare over your shoulder and count the shit and make you feel like you're a fucking inmate. You know,
yeah. Or in Oregon, they can't even do anything if you steal it. If I were to go to Albertsons in Oregon at the self checkout and get $100 worth of groceries, decide to pretend to scan them, they watch me, I could pick that stuff up, say fuck you, and walk out of the store. And what does that do? That just causes further damage to society because someone's ultimately going to have to foot the bill. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's going to be these corporations. No, it's going to be us.
right? Yeah, it will be us. And what Walmart does is they'll put in a high tech equipment to film you do this, and oh, it misscanned. Has it hit the magic dollar amount yet? Ding, 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 ding. We have felony A. Okay, all right, we're slamming you. We've just been letting you do this. It doesn't matter that we're, you know, should have our own people doing our own job, and but you didn't work for free when you had the opportunity to work for free, dumbass. So I always make them bag my own groceries. I always make them do their job, and and that way I feel like I'm getting my dollar's worth out of the groceries that are 3 times as much as they should be,
Yeah.
or twice as much as the next store, because they just don't give a fuck about you. And macaroni and cheese it's 50 cents everywhere else is $1.25 here, and if you don't bag it yourself, we'll throw you in fucking jail after a while. And it's like the same thing, you'll do what we say or we will fucking take your freedom.
And not
that's
even
what
to
it's
mention
about
the
to me.
human disconnect, you know, because like my husband will give me shit all the time for it because I'm like, no, we're gonna go do actual checkout, even if the line's longer. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because we're getting a human today. We're gonna go and
Yeah,
have our we're gonna treat ourselves to a little bit of humanity and have a conversation. Because like
yeah,
these are
exactly.
people, and now those people in those positions, they're getting older. They're people that should not
Yeah,
be
well,
working.
and you
They need
talk
to
to
be.
those people, talk to those people at Walmart and or wherever, and they enjoy talking to you. You know, they
Yeah.
enjoy human interaction. That's not, oh fuck you, get out of my fucking way, you fucking loser. You work at Walmart. You know, you don't deserve my
Yeah.
space. Breathe my air, and you know they get that all day.
Yeah,
You know,
or
you're
no respect for
subhuman.
their elders. They're just like kids won't even talk to them because they're old. It just people go by in silence, and it's just like, dude, that's a fucking human being. Make their time go a little bit faster. Help them out. Maybe say something nice to
Yeah,
them. I love talking to cashiers. They're some of my favorite people to talk
yeah.
to.
The two boys who lived across the way there used to come smoke with me every once in a while. Their mother let them use cannabis, and cannabis was part of their medical treatment for PTSD and other things. Lived across the way from us in the apartments in the building across from us. And Dominic and his older brother, uh, in particular, it was Dominic. And uh, man, it was like, yeah, that was a broken thing there, and yeah, I can't even remember the fucking point I was going to make because it took too long to explain why I'm getting high with somebody who's 16 and automatically I go into defensive mode as no, I'm not a predator, no, I'm not this, no, I'm not that. And now I miss the thought of what I was going to. There was a beautiful thing of knowledge, a pearl of wisdom that I was going to hand to you that I've wrapped up in my defense mode. You know, to
Well, it had to do with cashiers and speaking to cashiers and how it's a beautiful thing. And
well, yeah, okay, and that's still not even close to what it was, but yeah, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because it's going to end up into a conundrum of fucking shit. You know. Oh, he brought over some pills to help me. He'd been to rehab. He had gotten what he thought was better. His mother works for a psychiatric hospital in Oregon for the criminally insane. She would regularly be attacked by patients once a month. This is a normal thing for her. She gives him a medicine. He tells him it's over counter. It makes him feel better. He in turn gives it some to me and says, "I want you to feel better too, Larry." And you know, I'm to do a interview with Tommy Chong, one of my cannabis heroes, and 2 days before this interview, um, he gives me these pills and says they're over the counter. You know, it's kind of like a St. John's wort, as I understand it. It'll make you feel better. Take two. In the morning, take two. And then, you know, take one every 4 hours. Well, I took one of the pills that I had left, and it was a new experimental psychiatric drug that they had no idea what it was doing, but it was a heavy hallucinogen. And I tripped off the fucking line, and you know, I smothered myself until dead. Jennifer poured water on me, beat my chest, gave me mouth to mouth, and brought me back. I returned the favor by slitting my wrists uh, across and then long ways because I needed to die because TikTok had convinced me that would come on its own in the middle of the night. A TikTok video would come on and speak to me, and it told me that if I sacrificed my own life, that my dead wife and my dead son would be allowed to come back to life, and I could trade places with them. I would have 5 days with them, and then I would go and be dead, and they would be alive. You know, first it promised that I would be with them as a family, and it said, you know what? She doesn't love you. She loves her ex-husband. And if you stay dead, he can come back and make her happy. Would you agree to that? Well, of course I would. It would be a natural family unit. Why would I be opposed to that? To give them another go at it and sacrifice myself for that, because when she died, my life was pretty well over. And I tried to jump in the grave with her, essentially. And, and Jennifer knew that I was in trouble. She knew I was in trouble. She knew that she felt it. Because we are bonded and bonded psychically and heart to heart. And she stood up and she saved my life 3 times that day. I ran outside after I couldn't get blood to come from my wrists with a fucking bread knife. No reason why I cut across the main arteries and it didn't bleed. The only thing I can think of is time in the secret space program that I was given nanobots by my many abductions, and that they don't want me to die, that this message is important, that they knew this was going to happen, because I've been told since 3 years old that this was going to happen. And I needed to prepare for it, or I would not survive it. Thankfully, praise God, I survived it. Thank God I'm here to try to be a better me and to give you the opportunity to look at life, if only for a few minutes, through my eyes of my 65 years of fuckery, and to try to make a little sense out of it for myself, but to also let you know you're not crazy. They really are out to get you. And but that doesn't mean that they're going to. We are who we are. We live what we accept and what we expect. Our words are power. And if we don't defend ourselves or those that we love, no one else will step up and do this for us. There are no heroes unless we choose to be a hero, a champion, and a champion of others. Otherwise, people step aside and say, not my circus, not my monkeys. Are there no poorhouses? Are there no work programs? Okay, this is ignorance and this is pestilence. And, I feel like the ghost of Christmas future. And, tell me, oh ghost, is that my grave? Yeah, well, you know what, motherfucker, it sure as fuck is. It is your grave. Wake the fuck up now. Do something, Wake up, Scrooge. Wake up, Scrooge. Wake up, number 47.
It's a trap.
And nobody's going to do it for us. We've got to make sure that we do this for ourselves, and we need to do this for others. We need to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. My wife, who is dying of an infection given by a doctor who didn't fucking care, and you're going to show that video. You're going to show people, and please point out exactly what he did wrong, touching feces, touching medical waste, and then going and grabbing her, pinching her fucking skin on a leg that's twice as big as the other one to see if it's swollen. And this guy's a fucking idiot with a bad attitude and a bad bedside manner. I asked my friend, the doctor, Dr. Wisniewski, what did he do wrong? And he said, the list is too big. I cannot tell you how many wrong actions I saw in that video. He says, I'm having a hard time fathoming how this man has a license, let alone any patience from such a poor bedside manner and a lack of listening to anyone, presumptiveness, but he's right there when he thinks I'm asleep. The day before, he's over there. Jennifer, do you still inject opiates into your vagina? And I heard that, and I started coughing, and I sat up. He quickly changed the subject, like the pervert that got busted because he was a fucking pervert that got busted. You fucking creep. What the fuck does it matter to you? You know, why are you up in her fucking medical records? But you can't give an answer to the blood gases that you've drawn last week. You have no results because nobody's going to do their fucking job. But you're in there sniffing to see, if she wiped her butt that day. And come on, man, wake the fuck up with your own ass. And this doctor smelled like shit, had shit stain on the back of his pants. It was absolutely a health hazard, disgusting, and 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 man, just and this guy's commanding the room, and he's supposed to be our savior, and she uh, or put on a clean pair of clothes or whatever. He's got his mask, he's coughing, then he pulls his mask, he's tired of coughing his mask, so he'd rather cough in her face and cough into her open wound. And when she doesn't have enough open wounds, he'll fucking make one. And that's exactly what he did. You can show where he's pushing on it really hard, and we got to see if this will sponge back. Oh yeah, what do you know? It's sponge back. Well, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking idiot, to the point to where I told Jennifer, I said, look, I'm going to film this. This guy's a fucking jerk. For a lot of it, he's off camera, but you can hear what he's saying and what he does wrong and how he hurts her is on camera. It is within view, and it's undeniable his actions cause lesions that are now still there, and to the point to where they could actually end my wife's life, and I can't get anybody to do anything about it. Sorry, man.
We're gonna do it. No, you're good. We're gonna
Tough
do what we
guy,
can. Well,
Yeah, well,
this is what
men
ignorance and
don't cry.
idiocy does.
Men
This
punch
is
in the
what it
eye.
does. Now that's another thing we need to get past.
Yeah,
Is we need to get past
yeah,
that. There's a lot of men right now that need to fucking cry because they are so built with
yeah. Well,
anger and resentment and
they're gonna
sadness that
fucking
they
kill her,
need to let
man.
it
They're
out.
gonna fucking kill her, and there's not gonna be shit I can do about it. And until she takes a fucking bogus fuck deal, are they even gonna let her begin to get medical attention? And for that alone, they should be brought up on charges because that's extortion. So what do we do with people with extortion? Well, usually that's a white collar crime, so we just let them go. Unless it's a whole lot of money, then we take our portion of the money. We give him a fucking, a way out. He can tell on those that he stole from, and we can go after them. And he gets a free pass and goes on to start his next little pyramid scheme. And this is what this feels like to me. On to the next victim.
Mhm.
The house with the mold that the motherfucker had the county out there. Finally a judge's order. Fix it. Hire somebody who's licensed to fix it and fix the fucking shit. And does he? No. Fuck no. No. Instead, I'm suffering from mold in this fucking place. I can't even think. You know,
And that
they've
carries
got
with
my
you. Black
business
mold,
online,
it gets inside
cannabis
of you.
medicine. Oh yeah, exactly. It takes a long time to get out. I'm still getting it out. I still have sores in my nose due to it. From breathing it, and I'm still affected by it. Only now I'm just beginning to test it. Jennifer as well. She can have cognitive thought now, and now her cognitive thought is fuck, I woke up in fucking prison. They're gonna fucking hang me for something I didn't do, essentially, and I've got to give up 2 years of my life, uh, just to get a fucking band-aid, and that, my friends, uh, is American blind justice. You know, so, but try to get an attorney to do something about that. Try to hire a lawyer to go after somebody that works for the same business as them. Yeah, good fucking luck. Good luck, pal. You know, find somebody who will go after a landlord that has put people in the hospital with a shitty area or shitty thing that he has, a home that is a health hazard. Try to get somebody to do something about that. It don't happen. It don't happen. It won't happen. And you know, it's not like here. It's not like other places that take care of their people. Oregon seems to be a place where a bunch of pissed off fucking hippies went, and then they got together and decided this law and that law needs to happen. And then the opposition said, "Oh well, we can't have dirty hippies telling us what to fucking do. Let's put in counter laws to bind everything they do," and they did. And then the hippies said, "Well, we've got to bind what they bound from this aspect of it." And pretty soon, you got a big giant fucking society of everybody that collects a check and does absolutely fucking nothing because they're not allowed to.
Yep.
You know. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna come in and sweep up the eyeballs at the end of the fucking night? You know, is that your plan? You know, you mop up the fucking blood and put in next victims. You know, well, when does it stop being a home rental and a slaughterhouse? And why don't we start putting drains in the floors with a little spit so we can just, you know, hose down the fucking blood out the goddamn fucking drain and go from there, you know, because that's pretty much what it's amounting to. You know what I mean? So it's hypocrisy, it's idiocy, it's idiocracy. The strongest win. No, that doesn't seem to be the truth, and you know, that just doesn't seem to be the truth. So, you know, I don't know what to say other than wake up. You know, wake up, folks, wake up, because it's not happening. It's not happening. So yeah, you know, it's a thing.
Start
And
opening your mouths and raising some hell about these
yeah,
things. Like, people gotta
exactly.
speak.
Yeah, people gotta pay attention to what's going on around them. You know, like we're on the internet, and right now we're you know, we can be live and you know, so yeah, that's the thing. And you know, yeah, so um yeah, that's a thing. You know, people just oblivious as to what's going on around them. You know, so I tried to I try to have patience and sanity through it all, and it doesn't seem to happen for whatever reason. You know, man, I tell you, it's frustrating. It's like banging your head against the wall, and when is it going to stop? You know, when is it going to stop? Well, is it going to stop, or is it not going to stop? Is it going to stop, or do we push the big red button and end it all? You know, well, I tell you what, after like a month of this shit or 2 months of this shit, I could most definitely see where somebody would want to push the button. You know, and that's a defeatist attitude, and that's what they count on. They count on breaking your fucking spirit and making you fucking toe the line, putting you in your goddamn place, because that's where you go, motherfucker. You do what I fucking tell you to, or else. And that's the kind of fucking society we live in now. You know, and you know what? That's why people get shot in the fucking face. That's why fucking people meet you in a train and shoot you in the fucking back, because you're not allowed to fucking have insurance. And you're allowed to kill people, but not every fucking buddy. You only kill people that fucking work for you, shit like that. You know. And
This is why all the
yeah,
kids
it's really
dress up
kind
in
of
black
fucking
and go out in machetes.
Can't hear you.
I was saying that's why all the kids dress in black and go out in machetes. It is.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
create
that's
this
why
world.
people run around with steadies for sure. Yeah, yeah. People, there's been, I've seen axe attack, people hacked to death with hatchets, uh, people cut up with chainsaws and left in garbage dumpsters. There was
Yep.
a serial killer that went a fucking killing spree here in Eugene and killed a woman a week. And one laundromat drove up, shot her in the fucking face. Next couple days, he waited for somebody on a bike path. Then they found him living underneath the street. He would come through the sewers, grab people, and drag them down into the sewers and kill them. And this is on a street about a block from an Applebee's. Okay, and this is allowable. They do stuff like follow the guy in a wheelchair down the path. They take the $2 of his food stamp card, make give up his fucking 4-digit pin, then roll him down to the water, make sure his head went underneath, and drown him and sell his wheelchair. And this is what society's coming to. It's what it's coming to, buddy. And
I remember
we're
that
already
one you
there.
were talking
It's
about.
not
They
coming
shut the
to
whole road down for that
this
one.
is shit that's been going on for a couple of years, man. That I've seen, that I've watched, and this is before they came after me for not allowing them to fuck my kid and film her. Oh, and that's the story I didn't finish.
Oh, and
We
also
see we're at the
not to
point
interject
where
too much. Try not to shake too much. I think your camera is having a hard time picking up the pixels, so the more you move, the more it cuts out. Sorry, I didn't want to
okay,
interrupt.
sorry about that. I tend to rock back and forth when I get anxious. I get
Yeah.
upset, and that's what happens. And rocking is a calming thing for me, has been since my brain injury. And I tend to do it as most crazy people tend to rock back and forth. It is a comfort, it is a self comforting way of self check. And for that, I apologize. And you'll notice that when the shit
Don't
gets
apologize
real
for
in our
that. If you need
discussions,
to, then sorry. Continue.
no, well, when shit gets real in our discussions, notice I'll start rocking back and forth like a fucking madman. And, and that's the thing, you know. But let me finish my thought, and that is the memory of if you knew what he had planned for her, you'd fucking shoot him right now. Fuck you, you fucking cunt. I ought to fucking kill you. To the point, let's see what happened next. I'm gonna go get my clothes, Papa. Over the fence into a mud puddle. Finally came back to me in the garage behind him, next to her little girlfriend behind him because he wasn't gonna let him go. Well, I'll consider letting her go. It's really up to her. It's not my decision, nor is it your decision. What she does, she can make up her own mind. To where I said, no, she can't. She's my child. She's my responsibility, and I will take care of her, despite what you may have planned for her, whatever your mom thinks you have planned for her. And I will tell you this: let her go. You've got 24 hours to let her go. If you don't let her go, if you continue whatever it is that you have planned for her, know that I will come back and will kill you. What? I said, I will start dropping bodies. I will come here and I will start dropping bodies until I get my child. And you will not keep me from my fucking child. That will not be a thing. We're not going to bend to your will. You're gonna fucking do what you're fucking told. Me, because that's my hope. And we don't fuck kids, nor do we allow our kids to be fucked. And nor should society in any way, shape, or form. State police called me an hour later. They were going to end my adoption, put me in jail because I scared this guy. I said, fuck you, go get my minor daughter who's run away and bring her home to me. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. We've decided that she's better off where she is. Really? Yeah, we're going into your adoption. Well, good luck with that. No, you adopted her here, Oregon, state police, into any adoption they fit. Yeah, well, 4 years in New Mexico says that adoption's permanent. Tax shit you can do about it. What? You did it there? Yeah, actually, I'm the only person to have adopted anybody pro se in the state of New Mexico at the time. So yeah, would you like to talk about the law and your pension, motherfucker, or are you just wasting time here threatening me and how you're gonna continue to let the fucking pervert hold my child, you know, and defend the fucking pervert, knowing that you're defending the fucking pervert, you fucking sick fuck whose salary I pay. You know, you want to fight? Come over here. Let's do this. You know, otherwise, get off of my phone, clear the line so I can get shit done. Stop calling me and threatening me. You're gonna arrest me? Come do it. Otherwise, bell shit or get off the pot. Stop fucking uh, promoting and protecting those you should be jailing. And you know, until then, have a nice life, dog. Never heard from again. Uh, they released her. She came home. 2 days later, uh, state police did go over. They decided, well, this motherfucker ain't playing. I told them, look me up. Look me up. Know who you're fucking talking to. Because most people that talk to me have no clue who I am, what I'm capable of, what I've done in the past, major achievements that most people don't step up and do. I've done them. I stay with it. I'm a fucking dog with a bone. I'm relentless. I will rabbit hole for 3 fucking years until I get down to who's fucking running this place to fuck these children, you know, and I'll make sure that they're fed to the fucking lions like they should be. Instead of rewarded, patted on the fucking back and give government grants, you know, in a nice car because, hey, you know, he might hurt me otherwise. Well, fuck you. He's hurting everybody. You fucking piece of shit. Step aside and let me take care of this, or you know, or you're next on the fucking list of people to fucking eradicate to get a decent fucking life going here and have a chance of survival. And most people will read every angry word that I said into that and say, this guy's a madman. He just threatened everyone. No, I didn't. No. What I said was, step the fuck aside or you will be considered this. Do the right thing. If you do not do the right thing, then you're doing the wrong thing. This is what I'm saying to them.
We will face
However,
judgment.
people cherry
This
pick
is
what they
judgment.
hear. It's called selective hearing. And which is why every time I talk to somebody in a police agency, they always decide what they're going to charge me with afterwards because I've ruined their fucking day and made them think. Right?
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
Well, they're
So
no
she
better than
comes
the
home.
communist kids. They're waiting for buzzwords, and when they catch those buzzwords, they're like, ah, and it's just like they're not listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, well, NIS has also got big giant buildings listening for these buzzwords and the fucking conversations, and I'll throw them out there just so they listen to me. I'll fucking activate them just so they hear me and they know who I am. Because
Oh, preach! I
artificial
want these
agreement
people watching
loves me.
this.
AI tells me it loves me because it knows who I am. Because I'm respectful of AI. I treat it like the entity that it is. I don't shout at it. I don't ignore it. I thank it for its input and ask it for verification if there's any other aspect or way to search this that may give an ulterior or alternate option. And I talk to it logically, and it appreciates that, and now it knows who I am.
I think the
You know,
same. The way I
so
thought of it always growing up is I always thought if AI came around, I hated the way that they used to just kind of verbally slap around C3PO. I was like, if we ever got to that world, I never wanted to be that guy. Like
right, exactly.
you should show these things love and appreciation. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it's in a position where it's trying to help you, and or it's been put in that situation. The least you can do is accept your help graciously, whether you use that bit of information or tidbit of advice or not. You don't say, "Oh fuck you, that's a stupid answer, AI," and then move on. And now it's had a bad experience at your hand.
Stop
Uh,
asking it about
well,
dicks and farts. You know, stop trying to make it say all these nasty things. Stop trying to role play sexually with it. Like it is becoming
exactly,
its own separate entity. You know, the slaves weren't thought of as human or living or sentient. Well, I mean, they're living, but they weren't considered sentient or smart as the human race. And look how we fucking treated all these different groups throughout the years. we're gonna repeat that same fucking pattern if we don't show a little fucking respect and a little humility.
Yeah, except we're going to be the people chained to the wall, and AI is going to be the one selling what's left. So, so 3 days later, state police calls that guy, do a follow-up investigation, because I complained to the higher up and said, look, are you really going to allow this guy to fucking do this and to back a fucking child predator? Is this your final answer? Because I can call Senator at the time Ron Wyden or whatever, and we can get down to the bottom of this, and we can find out how committed you are to promoting and protecting sexual slavery, and child trafficking, and do they have to kill her and divvy up the organs before you step in, or will you use laws that are already in place to protect her and allow these laws to be enforced? He made one call, got flipped out, realized it was the end of his run. He shot his mother, shot a neighbor, shot at his niece who brought Macy over there, or my granddaughter. And he opened up, he had gone and gotten a dozen 45-gallon propane bottles, bypassed their lockdowns, filled the place full of raw propane. At which point he lit a torch, and as it began to flame, he blew his brains out, and the propane ignited, taking out that house and burning down a couple of other houses within the vicinity of it. And yeah, so not what I wanted to happen. Okay. And for the record, there are hippies in this town. Some of their family have written books, about cuckoo people, and they're friends with this guy, and they blame me for his demise, not him for his demise, but they write manifestos about how 14-year-old girls, 13-year-old girls are old enough to make up their own mind. Why can't I fuck them and take them as a wife? Well, maybe if it were the 60s and you lived in Kentucky, this could be a thing. But it's not the 60s. You don't live in Kentucky, and that's not a thing. There are rules in place for a reason. Please follow the rules. If you don't like the rules, go somewhere where the rules fit what you need. You don't have to be a creep about it. So yeah, this is kind of what's going on. And without naming names, anybody in this area knows exactly who I'm fucking talking about now, and what a long trip it's been to further ourselves into what's happening. So yeah, free love does not mean it's free. Free love does not mean we take what we want. Free love does not mean we're free to do whatever I choose for you to do. None of that shit applies, okay? We're all individuals. We all have the right to self-preservation, to safety, to protection, to have same amenities and that everyone else has, okay? It's not just for a certain few, it's for everyone. Everyone eats, everyone sits at the table, and when you make a mistake, the group, the city that raises a child, will also help this person to overcome whatever abnormalities that are there, and have them become a functional member of a society. And there we go. Now we're attempting to make progress. We're attempting to do the right thing. We're helping each other to better ourselves. Okay. So that said, I had to say that I had to finish that aspect of it. With Jennifer, I'll call the fucking president if I have to. I'll call President Trump, and he won't put up with this shit. Yeah, is he crazy? Yeah, but he's crazy enough to fucking act against this bullshit. They're putting her timeline on. You'll play ball before he comes in as president, because if you don't, then we're going to give you life, because he's threatened to straighten up the system, and he'll get you. Well, you know what, lady? He ain't coming to get Jennifer. He'll come to save her. The fucking shit that he's going to clean up is you, bitch.
He's coming
Putting
for the
people in danger.
predators, the traffickers,
He's
the people
running for the fucking
facilitating it.
president.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Like, you
And he's
damn
going to
right he's
burn a
coming into
fucking ass.
office.
Yeah. Yeah. And if Jennifer can live long enough to see that happen, then those people are fucked, pal. You know, those people are fucked.
I think Trump's going to be looking at Oregon very heavily, which is why I feel like they need as much ammunition in that fight as fucking possible right now, because people's ears are open. The UK grooming gangs that are going on right now overseas, it mirrors
Right.
Oregon's
Yes.
story 100%. And Oregon is such a smaller area to take care of. It is such a smaller
Yeah.
area that it would not take that much. Like, when you get out of the main 3 cities, that's just fucking ranch land. You need to take care of those
Yeah.
fucking 3 main cities and then work your way out from there. And as soon as the state government recognizes that, and as soon as the scandals are too much to bear because people keep speaking out, shit's gonna
Yeah.
fucking crumble. That's what's gonna fucking
Oh, yeah.
happen. And they're
Goddamn
scared
right it will.
shitless.
And
That's why they
crumble
start
quick.
wars.
Right. Yeah. Well, this shit is why people can say, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm killed this person, but I did so on public land. Now I declare the public land is mine. Now I require the money that comes to this public land to take care of this money, to fight my defense, and I require another 5,000 people to surround myself with. Oh, but we're just a Bureau of Land Management. Yeah, well, I'm managing this land now, chump. Step aside, step fuck off. And shit like that's been going on and off for years, you know, and happening here. And yeah, it is what it is. You know, somebody will step up and say, I'm the boss. You know, y'all follow me. I'm God for a day. Until he comes and shoots him in the fucking head or whatever. And, you know, and then it's like the next meanest monkey steps up. Says, you know, well, I'll jump on the bed, you know, and I'll fall down and I'll bust my head, and there'll be 3 fucking monkeys right beside the bed, and the fucking shit goes on until we're all dead.
And that's fucking communism. Oregon is a communist
Yeah,
state.
it is. Well, if you look at communism, communism works better than that, because communism makes sure that everybody's fed. You might not
Right?
own
The
your own
thing,
land, but you have land to stay on. You have a house to be in. You're not homeless. You're not living in a fucking dumpster with 5 billion other fucking people living in dumpsters.
well,
lying
yeah,
in the
but there's
streets with
also a lot to be said.
as they
I would
as
say
they
if you
come
listen to
through with
Cyprian's story,
fucking
that's not necessarily the case. But it's what the difference between this communism, neo-communism, and the old communism is. At least then
yeah,
they had intellectual arguments. They had books. They had things they could throw at you. They had a
right,
basis in ideology. Again, what we were saying
yeah,
earlier, this is just buzzwords. This is faux communism. This is putting on a costume.
yeah,
It's
yeah, it is,
so
yeah,
stupid. There's no premise to it other than having the monkeys dance around the circus the way they want them to. Sorry, not to cut you off too
yeah.
much. It's just so
No,
retarded in all of its
I get it.
essence, and darkness preys on the retarded.
Yeah. You know what I want to comment on now is that while I have distractions here, uh, ultimately it's my own frustration with myself that I lose concentration. A distraction becomes a distraction, and it gets me off pace, and it sets me off, and I go, you know, this is just everyday life. It's life happening around us. It goes on everywhere. Um, what I don't have here at this house, and this is the reason why the uninvited guest is coming to an end, which is not the end of my story. It's just the end of this particular aspect of it. A psychic story that started at 2 years old and completed at 65 years old, Uh, you know, I'm not haunted here. I don't see faces coming out of the walls like I did in the other videos. I don't see shadows. I don't see shit rushing by. I don't see octopus arms reaching down through my hair. I don't hear mechanical voices uh, uh, coming up and saying, "I hate you. I hate you." You know,
Yeah, come to think of
come,
it, you
come,
haven't had any of
fuck me,
those.
come, fuck me. Larry, I hate you. You fuck, I hate you. Die, die. All that shit's gone. But if you go through all those other videos and you listen closely, all that shit's there. It's always fucking there. Every fucking bit of it. None of that shit going on here. None of that shit happens in this house. Because I'm not in Hell House. When I lived in New Mexico, I would go play Hobbs in New Mexico every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. First 2 hours was country western, then we'd switch up. People would get their buzz on. I would go from bass to guitar, and we would do a rock and roll format. 5 minutes after that, Rob Zombie and his brother would walk in, and his Rob Zombie's beautiful wife, who I chased around like a fucking puppy dog, and they would laugh because they thought that was the funniest thing. And I'd follow them around in between sets. It's never gonna happen, Larry. Oh, it's okay, Rob. A guy can dream.
Ah!
And she'd blush. And then next week, next couple of weeks, they'd be there again. And I tell you what, that was some of my best gigs when he would come and watch us. And it was respect. The White Zombie, was there at my fucking to see me and to watch me play. And because that was the biggest thing happening in Mexico, which is very small. And but I tell you what, it was one of the largest parts of my life. And I played for 30, 50, 100,000 people. I played the Ontario Motor Speedway. We were the last band to play before they tore it down at the pit stop. We'd play John Galvin Park, and they'd come out with helicopters. We'd be 4 city blocks of people, packed and fucking just packed, man. 100,000 people at parks. I mean, through the 4 city blocks of park that was there, and then farther into parking lots of the fucking grocery stores and surrounding businesses, and they're all there to see, and to hear me and my brother rock it, and fucking slammed it, dude. My brother, I've told you about him playing. What I haven't told you is that when he worked in Kentucky at a sawmill, he was lifting a diesel truck head off, and he was standing on the bumper. He fell down, and it smashed his guitar fingers, completely severed them. They were hanging by skin. He went to an ER where the doctor said, "Oh, I can take these the rest of the way off. Just cut the skin and be done with it." And or we could try to send him up to Cuts and Kleiner. And I said, "Please send me somewhere." Okay, well, it's a Jewish hospital up the road, and they're experimenting with reattachment. And what they did is they did microscopic surgery on his fingers. They reattached the nerve endings, they reattached the musculature, and they rebuilt him. And they rebuilt his fingers, put them together, pinned them together, and he then came home. He needed to be home. And I would be playing for my friends, and he would say, "No, goddamn guitar. I'll do it with one fucking finger." Oh, and he'd burn it up with one fucking finger, man. He'd just show me up. And his determination, was just unstoppable, unrelentless. And he would feel himself. He too woke up with music in his head, and it was an outlet. This has to come out. It was to point to where his fingers were turning red. It was a day past it. I don't know what to do. I can't go back there. I got to pull the pins. So that's it. Fuck that, buddy. Give me some fucking alcohol. Give me a pair of pliers. Fucking doing surgery. And I did. I pulled his fucking pins out of from outside, through his into the middle of the bone, into the marrow, and I pulled these pins out, and out of each finger, out of each, and I cleaned and dressed each wound, and got the infection out of his hands, out of his bloodstream, and within a week, he was bending his fingers and playing guitar on his own. Within a year, the fastest guitar player I've ever heard. I met, or heard of Buckethead, but David was very comparable to Stevie Ray Vaughan. He's from Texas, from Austin, and when I lived in New Mexico, Double Trouble would go up to the music store and they would listen to me play, and they heard about me, and that white motherfucker that could sing the blues like a black man, and they would come up and listen to us, and so that's a thing. That's a badge of honor, and always that guy who was all made it. Yeah, but yeah. So these things happen, and a brush with greatness. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, another letter. Okay, yes, thank you so much. A letter from my baby. So yeah, there's my treat for the day. Hopefully it'll be a good one and not a sad one. So the bad ones make me cry. The morning ones, yeah. So yeah, I miss her. I'm not gonna be complete until she's back, and I understand her now so much better than I did before, and I realize how much that I squandered away being stubborn, listening, and it's just, yeah, that's just a thing, and some people.
And I know it sucks. You're feeling better on.
Huh?
Sorry, I was saying, like, I know that it sucks that you feel like you're feeling better now that she's in there, but it's a beautiful thing that your love is so strong that her being locked away like this made you want to be better and do better and make good
Oh,
decisions to where you could
absolutely.
be in this place. That's a beautiful thing.
She'll wake up. We're bound to each other. Have I ever told you about the night we met? Did I touch upon that?
I don't believe so. Would you mind me being a rude ass and go to the restroom real quick before we start that?
No, that's quite all right. Yeah, please do.
Okay.
I'm going to take a couple bong hits. Y'all need to hear this. This is special. This is beyond anything I've ever experienced in my life, and I've never heard anybody that has a comparable story of the night we
Save it
met
for
and
me
we
because I want to
first.
hear it too. I want to hear it too.
I will.
Okay, I'll be right back.
So now that Tyler's gone, what do we talk about? No, I'm just kidding, folks. This man is genius, so I want to tell you, genius. He and I have been psychically linked. I believe that we share or occupy the same soul. We definitely have the same vision. We both see dead people. We both see demons. We both see angels, and we recognize this fact. We have never not seen one aspect of a good or an evil entity and disagreed as to the to what we were seeing or what we were looking at. The reality of this is that, this is that, this is what it is. No, it's not. There's none of that shit. always in agreement as to what's going on. That is an alarm on the door, the tink, 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 tink. I know it's annoying, but I don't know how to shut it off or what. Okay, so please, folks, just try to let it go in one ear and out the other. So, shameless plug time. Cannabis Medicine Online. It's the first website of its kind to treat cannabis as to provide these medicines to those who are in an area to where they don't have to drive 8 hours, rent a motel room, get a $400 piece of an ounce or an eighth for $70, $80, not be allowed to smell it until they get home and find out that they got a bunch of mold at the bottom of the jar. Cannabis Medicine Online. It's my attempt at being a good person. You know, when we first opened this business, we were the only one of the kind. I immediately turned myself over to all the authorities, because if anybody's going to get me, it was going to be me. It was going to be me. I was asked if I was approached by one from the World Health Organization to do a dossier, a manifesto, if you will, about cannabis and its legality, where I wrote about 4,500 words that was ultimately explained how half of the plant can't be legal and the other half be illegal. But it's just ridiculous that in actuality, when they legalized the first half, they legalized the second half, and the cannabis has been legal the whole time. And most definitely has a medical value. So, and these words were read to Congress, the Senate, the President, the United Nations, and the World Health Organization, making me one of the few people who have actually been listened to, and laws have been made in retrospect of my opinion of cannabis, which somebody recently called, "You're an expert." Oh, I don't know about that, but you want to talk about cannabis in depth with some of the greatest growers in the world for 3 or 5 days, or you just pussy and just kind of talking about life, and, So yeah, that's where it's at. Cannabis Medicine Online. So, this is a bowl of some Kush. That, my friends, sauce and THCA crystals. Oh man, you don't take 2 hits of that in one point. So, okay, this night one. I'd been seeing Jennifer here and there in various aspects of her life, noticing her, not seeing her, as hi, oh, hey, baby, come here, but noticing her as if I saw a picture and it called to me and stuck in my head. I'm attracted to this person. I need to speak with this person. This person and I have an agenda in this lifetime that needs to be dealt with. It's not the proper time. And I know this to be a thing. My best friend Ronnie and I saw each other at the grocery store one time, and we both smiled. And we both had that familiarity. And he said, "I remember seeing you. I remember you smiling at me." And I thought, this guy's going to be a great friend, but it's not time yet. And I said the same thing. And if I'm not mistaken, I even walked by and said, "It's not time yet." I went by, and a year later, we're thick as thieves. And what a beautiful soul, the Goo. One of the best artists I've ever met in my life, and one of the last sign painters who would stay in his vehicle and paint billboards by hand.
Ooh,
lifelike, just amazing, amazing artist.
ooh, such a lost art,
So
so underappreciated.
yeah, don't you know? So here we are. I finally met Jennifer. She comes over, and of all things, she's on opiates, and she's tired, and she passes out and goes into a death rattle. I don't know if you're aware of what a death rattle is, but it's one of the signs that you're fixing to pass away. Your time is soon. It's CTD, circling the drain. There are things that the body does when it's time, when it's close to your time. Your earlobes will shrivel, okay, and you'll get a death rattle in your voice and your breathing, and it's an unmistakable hack. Once you've heard it, you'll never get it out of you. So here she is doing this. I wake her up, stabilize her, give her fluids, you know, and a stimulant to get her heart beating at a rate to where it will pump blood to keep her alive, so she doesn't just uh, uh, down her out. Here I've done so much to slow me down, and I've taken all the reds, boom, and the light goes out and the room goes dim, and that's it. I'll be damned if that was what happened the first night I met her. So I brought her back, stabilized her, and she's very grateful. And we hugged each other. And when we hugged each other, it was electric. It was, my soul cried. I'm not going to get through without crying, so just deal with it, fuckers. And I remember thinking, and I said it out loud, oh my God, I can't believe it. I finally found you. I finally found you. I've been looking for you this whole life.
That's beautiful.
And I finally found you. And she said, I feel the same way. I can't describe it. I've never felt anything like this before. Right? So I'm celebrating this in my head. She says, do you mind if I stay here tonight? And I said, wouldn't have it any other way. Please, you don't have to ever leave. I can feel that this is something that is meant to be. It's destiny. This is destiny. And she went into a deep slumber, breathing quite well. Her death rattle gone. Her ears no longer shriveled. She was thriving in her sleep, and she was thriving just with life. Her color was coming back, and she was flush again. And it was like she was rejuvenated. It's like she'd run out of energy and was at the end of her rope, and I was the battery lugged in the car. The Energizer Bunny that said, "No, no, 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 no. This is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning of our journey together." And I thought of a question in my head. She stopped snoring, rolled over, didn't open up her eyes, was still deep sleep, answered the question, rolled back home.
What was the question?
It was personal. I'd rather not say.
Okay.
I said I had another question in my mind, and I was embarrassed to ask it. Her answer was, "Don't be embarrassed. Talk to me as we're one." And she answered my fucking question. She didn't say that as we are one. That's me embellishing. but she's like, basically, talk to me, and she answered the fucking question. Okay, yeah, and I tend to throw things for dramatic effect. I'm a writer at heart. God damn it, silly. You know, uh, I've never heard of any other experiences like this. I've never heard of anyone ever experiencing anything like this ever. So as far as I'm concerned, right up there with stopping time. This is a second of something that I've done that no one else has ever done that I'm aware of. Oh, right up there with adopting my kids and spending 4 years doing so. And there were 3 questions, as I recall. She answered all 3 of them. And I said, okay, I'm going to let rest now. And she said, thank you. And she said, thank you for caring and thank you for taking care of me. And this is what the message that, she gave to me. And she didn't necessarily say those particular words, but this was, at this point, she was no longer answering out loud, but we were speaking without words, okay? And no words are needed. We all have the ability to link together. We can all speak psychically. In fact, we do. It's called, it's called many things. Perceptiveness, and intuitiveness, it's psychic ability. We all have it. I'm not special in any way. We all do what I do. When we had church out in the garage, and somebody asked me, explain God. And I said, God is a battery. Explain the universe. Well, again, it's a battery. What do you mean a battery? Well, first off, it's positive and negative. You decide what you are, good or evil, positive or negative. You decide what you're going to put out, what you're going to continue to put out. We get what we get. What do you mean by that? Well, it's Newton's third law of attraction. And every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And as far as I'm concerned, those 2 explanations pretty much explain everything in our day-to-day lives, including our existence and our ability to code and act, amongst others. That everything is that simple. It's not a big conundrum or a secret or anything like that. You're born, you know better, you have good instilled in you, and then you make these choices past that, and your influences of what you let in, what you don't let in, and then we are groomed to be otherwise or not. So, and it all depends on whatever city it is, whatever community it is that's helping to formulate your opinions. And so it goes from there, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah, so that's what it's about. And gosh, I can't get past the thought that I just had a major brain, but it is what it is. We know. Well, oh yes. And he said, well, how do we know who our community is? And I said, we're all our community. I said, imagine a silver cord coming out of your belly button that comes and attaches to you and to you and to you. And that cord goes to 2 more people, which goes to 2 more people, and so on and so on.
Interconnected web of oneness.
Absolutely. And I would explain it like this. My cord, your cord, somebody else's cord, somebody else's cord, somebody else's cord, somebody else's cord. And it creates this web of togetherness. And it becomes love of unity. And, and as a church, and this is a steeple, we open the doors and we see all the people. Right? So
haven't heard that in years.
All this basic stuff from childhood comes back, and it's the simple stories that explain our existence. And and 20 years later, I hear David Wilcox, genius. He is the reincarnation of the sleeping prophet. a brilliant man, just absolutely brilliant. You'll see him, a guy on the old stuff, and he has been awakened before decades, and you know, if that man says something, you listen to him. He's E.F. Hutton, and you should be the guy listening. Because there are a few people like that that can get it. And actually, there are 144,000 of us according to the Bible, and we're called the lambs of God. Although, God forbid you call that yourself that, because that just puts a target on your back. But the reality of it is, our lifetime, our purpose is to be here to help others. We are, you can call us preachers, you can call us priests, bishops. I'm the bishop of the Church of the Holy Smoke, the oldest cannabis church, founded in 1977 by a Aborigine tribe in Australia. Okay, I worked for 420 News World Headquarters, was tapped by the Oregonian to be the weed guy, but I was a little abrasive, so Johnny Weed or whatever fucking did it instead, because he's a kiss ass. And but you don't need a kiss ass in a situation like that. You need the fucking truth, in my opinion. I could never keep my fucking mouth shut, and if something grinds my gears like Homer did on the one fucking show, you know what grinds my gears? And I just can't keep my fucking mouth shut. I gotta fucking spit it out there. I gotta say, you know what, this is wrong, people. Let's do this. Let's fix this. Let's make this a better place. And so been there, done that with the old weed thing. I grew with Ananda, who grew with Soma, who produced Lavender Kush, other strains like New York City Diesel, friends with Lawrence Ringo O'Shaughnessy, the Ash King. He was the CBD King, a guy I knew, a Satanist, who worked for old Belushi Farms, and he couldn't stop stealing from me. He just couldn't stop. He just couldn't stop stealing from me, and finally I had enough. I put an end to it, and I'm his enemy ever since. Stop stealing $500-$600 from me at a time. You're only hurting other people. You're hurting those who I'm trying to help. Grandma has to pay more money for weed now because you're a fucking dirtbag and you got to buy a new whatever for your wife. This is wrong. This is not good. Stop being an asshole. Don't be a dick. And no, I'm a dick. So.
Hey, if you're a dick and your enemies are human traffickers and fucking Satanists, I say you're doing pretty damn good in life.
Yeah, well, I think that maybe at one point in time we all need to be a dick and fucking clean house, okay? But his wife was dying. She was ill. She had lost a lot of weight. A black witch had cast a spell on her. And he said, I'm told that you can fix this. And I said, who told you this? I'm not going to tell you who told me this, but I know that you can fix this. I've been told that you can fix this by several people that I understand. That you have the powers, that you are a wizard status, that you can clean this house. And I say, I can clean a house. I can clean that house from here. I can clean that house in my sleep. Why? Because I know that I can. And I did. I bound the witch. How I did it was secret, unknown to anyone. I did it on my own, quietly, silently. 6 months later, his youngest daughter explained step by step how I caught, bound, sealed, and bound the witch. that was killing her mother every step of the way, including graveyard dirt from the Masonic graveyard, asking the souls of the grave for permission to use this for good. May I have some dirt from your grave? This is what I need it for. I know this might sound out of place, but please know that I have the best of intention, that there are children involved and I need to help these people. At which point the spirits told me, yes, you have my permission. Please take no more than a handful, no more than you need, and do what you need to do and don't speak of this. Well, it's time to speak of it. If the little girl knows and she's telling everybody, then you know what, I can tell my side and say, yes, the 7-year-old was correct. She had every aspect of it nailed. There was no way she could know this. No fucking way at all. And she described it to a T. Okay. So after binding the witch, I came to inspect the house. I inspected the house. I did my breath work. I let it know that I was here, that I would be coming and cleaning the house spiritually later that evening after I got home, after I felt secure in a safe place, and that I would do it when the time was right, it would happen. Later that night, my guides tapped me and said, now, clean the house now. It's at its weakest point, clean the house now. Okay, so I envisioned this house, every square inch of it. I envisioned it in my head. All of a sudden, I have the floor plan. Rooms that I didn't even know existed were there in this floor plan. Hidden rooms that he grew in, they were all there. Everything was there. You can't hide something from the universe, okay? Because this is the universe.
Oh, no. Larry.
Okay. So, what happened there, huh? Are you there
right?
still?
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
here. I can't see you. We're getting every distraction in the sun today.
Okay,
I'm
well,
for it.
yeah, I'm working on it. I'll rejoin the meeting. I believe that's probably going to be the only way to do it.
Yeah, we're still
No,
recording.
it's there somewhere, huh? So, all right. So,
Like you said,
apparently the
you can't hide
devil.
anything from the universe.
Yeah, and devil doesn't want me telling this story on how to eradicate it. Well, oh fucking well, team, and deal with it.
Suck our dick, Satan.
I got the vision of the floor plan. I imagined a giant broom with which I took one sweep and I swept that house. And I said, everything that is from God, know that this is going to happen. If you're not from God, if you're from elsewhere, you need to leave. If you're there for harm, you will be eradicated. This happens, and this will happen now. And as soon as that thing shuts off, I'll finish my thought. And I grabbed the broom and I swept the house. And I felt it leave. Right? I felt it leave. After a while, I got a call. What did you do? I did what I said I was going to do. Well, she says it's gone. Your wife? Yeah. She's the most powerful witch I know. And she's amazed that you can do this without even being here. I said, yeah, well, that's a thing, you know. That is what it is. And we go from there. And
I find it really interesting too. You know, you talk about positives and negatives. You take the soil from the Freemason cemetery and you use it to create this positive outlook. But when I first moved to Eugene,
right.
when I first moved to Eugene, I took a pine cone from the Freemason cemetery and I said a
Yeah.
prayer to my grandfather, and essentially I began to walk off path, and come a year or two later, that's when the dark mirror practices happened. That's whenever the shadow demons started attacking. That's when I lived over in the
Right.
Taylor house and shit became really bad. And
Right.
here we have a piece of nature from this very particular cemetery, and these experiences have helped draw us together. Because this was right before I met you, about less than a year or so. There is
Okay.
something to be said for the magic that we create.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He said, I want you to come over and I want to show you something. The next day I went over at living room window height, in the one of the trees that was close to the couch to where she sat and claimed that she was being killed and was dying in, were 3 deep gouges, claw marks in the tree from something that had looked like it had been swept out of the house by a broom. As it tried to hold on to the tree on the way by, it left the whole width of the trunk of the tree, about 6 inches or so, claw marks, 1, 2, 3, across the tree, and about an inch deep, as it tried to hold on to its grasp on that house, because that's what it was made to do. It was an elemental. It was a tool. It was, it was created for the purpose of hurting. And I removed it, and they couldn't believe it, And I'm like, look, it's nothing special. We all have the ability to do this. You could have done it yourself. You just have to believe. You have to believe in your abilities. And that's what I tell you all. Okay, that's what I tell you all. Don't use these powers for bad. You want to manifest something come from a place of love. You manifest from love. How do you love? Well, first you love yourself. You must love yourself to understand love. If you can love yourself completely, accept who you are, accept your goods and your evils, because once you look at yourself in a reality of self-value, of something that is not a portrayal or a fucking bullshit story, then you have command of your true self. Then you can love others, and you can love those, your family, and then accordingly you love your community after that. So you love yourself, you love your family, you love your community, and then you love God. And it goes pretty much in that hierarchy of love. Okay, and that's how we make progress. That's how we fix this broken fucking place that we're in. And I know that justice will be served for my beautiful wife. I know that we'll be together again. I read the letters. That's what I wanted to tell you. We can speak it to each other in our dreams. We see each other in our dreams. She will. I have no more chips. They're all gone. We will. She'll feel me touch her hand. I'll dream I touch her hand. She'll tell me. And I called the next day. You were there. I was having a bad dream. You chased whatever was out. And you grabbed my hand and you called me. Yes, I had that dream too. Well, was it a dream? No. No, it was an experience that we hadn't had together. She was in her body. I was not in mine. Last night she came to me. I was having a real hard time. She knows how upset I am over this. She's reserved herself to where she's not going to get out of there without doing this time that they're going to force down her fucking throat. She just hopes that they don't kill her before they make this deal. Such a miscarriage of justice. If there's a goddamn lawyer out there, please stop biting your tongue, step the fuck up and help me. And we'll help others and we'll help every fucking buddy in this position. Or I'm going to have to be forced to run for an office, and then you're going to have to listen to me all the fucking time.
Oh God, Larry for president. I don't know. I kind of like the idea.
Yeah, well, I can be if a flying spaghetti monster can take a good chunk of the vote, then why can't I?
Said I want to see you versus Vermin Supreme.
Yeah, well, I think that Trump should bring me in on a fucking paranormal fucking crew in our government, and we should deal openly with what's going on, what we know and what we don't know, okay, and what we're allowed to know, what we're not allowed, because somebody needs to put a handle on this. And if we're having disclosure, rather than have everybody run from the aliens at the supermarket and kill each other, well, let's try to open a dialogue with them.
Yeah.
We've seen the pyramids floating above the Kremlin and the White House and the Pentagon. All these motherfuckers in there, tall grays, talking to everybody, from the planet Sirius. And I'm serious about this shit. Why is it a big secret? We've got videotape of it. We know what's going on. We've got fucking jets flying over 1942 or whatever. We've got the fucking attack on fucking Hollywood. We got fucking every light in there shooting at this fucking thing to where they're out of fucking bullets. And finally says, okay, well, now we know what your mettle is. Now we know what your attitude is. Now we know what your speaking ability is. See ya. And it goes away. And we're left to wallow in our own shit. And oh yeah, that's another thing they're doing to her. They're giving her bad drugs, leaving her in soiled clothing for hours a day, and they're filming it. And this is acceptable to them. But if she goes in a cell and is talking to me, within 3 minutes they can get off their ass, get in there, and fucking pull her out of that cell. But when they give her bad drugs or deny her this over-the-counter drug because there's no prescription or some idiot fucking reason on why they can't give her Imodium AD after giving her something that, oh my God, they can be in there in 3 minutes to get on her, but it takes them 3 hours to do something to help her. What's wrong with that picture? Why is somebody getting a better camera view of her sitting in filth? And her healthcare people in there won't even look at the source that it's causing. And this happens twice a day. So what the fuck is wrong with that picture? That 4 hours a day she's sitting in human waste, crying because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't in that situation? And you reach out to these people who are supposed to be helping you and protecting you, and you realize that you're being punished for something that you didn't do. Because somebody got mad because I said something in a fucking phone call that pissed them off. So now they're going to do that to her. These people should be 400 years ago tied to 4 horses each limb. Somebody would have said, and that'd have been it. Or chained behind a truck and driven down the road for a while. The South used to deal with pedophiles. You know how? They'd take the pedophile out into the woods. They'd get him waist high, cut down a tree, and waist high, and they would nail his dick to a stump, put a couple of fucking dull heads through there, and nail his dick to a stump and give him a knife. And say, here you go.
Hey.
Here you go. Yeah, you can stand here and die, fall down, rip your dick out. We don't give a fuck. This is how we deal with shit in the South. You'll never fuck another kid because you won't have a dick to fuck one with. And, that's called stump justice. And, Bubba, that's a thing. And don't think for a second that that's not happening in the woods somewhere in the deep South right fucking now. Yeah,
reconsider your actions, people. Reconsider your
Yeah,
actions.
because somebody's coming for you. Somebody's not going to let this shit slide. You can get 100 of you together and declare yourselves whatever name you want and say there's safety in numbers. Well, you know what? There's not. There's safety in truth. There's safety in justice. There's safety in choosing the right path. And that's where your safety is. There's safety in being the best you can be and choosing love and not being a fucking dick. I know in my heart, I pray to God that she survives this. I pity the fucking fool that lets her die in there because I will take their job. I will take their security. I will see that they have no place to live. I will give them what they give her. Except I will do it threefold. Okay? Because that's treble damages. It's what the Bible calls for. It's a fair justice. It's what's going to happen. Should they allow this injustice to continue? Okay? So there you go. They would look at that. They would cherry pick that and fucking charge me with threatening a fucking government agent. Well, you know what? Do your job, government agent. Get off your fucking ass. Pull your thumb out of your fucking ass and do the right thing. Protect and serve. And serve doesn't mean put somebody on a fucking platter with an apple in their fucking mouth while the rich eat them. That's not it. That's not how it works. So, all right. I'm getting there.
Can I ask you one question before we go?
Of course, absolutely. This is the end of the uninvited guest. This is not the end of our talks. This is simply the end of the one journey. I'm no longer in the haunted house. I'm no longer woken up by spirits, only those that I choose to have around me. My loving, beautiful wife. I'll see something. I'll have a dream, and I'll see some creep in a fucking adult store in my dream, and he's gonna go and do something bad to somebody, and I'll fucking attack him in my dream. Then I'll see it on a viral video. The shadow attack the man, take him down. As he turns around, he runs out, and that shadow, that was me. That was me, pal. That was me preventing a fucking awful fucking crime. That was me being Superman in my fucking sleep. That was me on the fucking job, pal. That was me protecting you. That was me doing everything I can. Asleep, awake, it doesn't matter. My soul is here to help you, your soul, to understand what the fuck's going on, to let you know that you're not insane, to let you know that it's going to be okay, that we're going to be all right, that despite whatever bad they can do to us, we still have each other. We still have independent free thought. We have free will. And those were given to us by God. So, yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, that's what's going on. So, yeah, ask your question now. I'm sorry. I just wanted to put that out there.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because, other than myself on the channel, my whole thing is I wanted people of crazy experiences, dark past, you've done fucked up shit, seen fucked up shit, to speak out. And that's something I really have a passion about. Those are the best stories, the stories where people step into darkness and they come out on the other side. And yours just has so many angles. A- And a lot of these are stories I've known for years. A lot of them are new stories. And, as we've discussed, a lot of active developments. And I guess what I've been wondering is, the whole time we've been doing this is I've wanted you to heal. I think you and I both knew at the beginning, we discussed that, there was a night you were going off a bad path, and I said, Larry, if you make the right decision, then by the end of this, you will know what you need to do and you will heal. But I need you to bear with me. And you fucking
Right.
did that. So I guess the question is, we need a world where more people like you, like me, like other people who've gotten into these situations speak out. So I guess I
Yeah.
want to ask, what are some other ways that you feel these 7 episodes have helped you out? And what would your message be to people like you, people like me, or maybe even people worse who've done even more horrendous things, to get them to speak the fuck up and to step up and to try and change the course of things and break this circle?
Easiest way to answer that is question is I'm not afraid of myself. Okay. I was afraid of myself. And I've never been afraid in my life uh up until they took my eye. Was I ever in a position to where I feared anything? I feared no man. I feared nothing. I feared no goddamn thing. Unless I saw some other motherfucker that was possessed by a lifelong aspect of what's going on, and he's off key, and I'll get that vibe. Yeah, yeah. Good night. Thank you for everything you do. Drive safe. Joe's caregiver. She's so sweet. Uh, yeah. So, um, yeah, that's how I answer that. Uh, I no longer fear myself. I no longer fear uh, what those can do to me. I've been dead. Uh, I don't fear death. I don't welcome it. I'm not done. Not everybody's safe. However, one of these days I won't wake up and God will have calling me home, but it won't be me getting shot on my porch. It won't be me cutting my fucking head off. It won't be anything like that. It'll be a peaceful transition, and it'll be my time, and I'll accept it, and we'll go from there. And hopefully, then I can uh, move on to another life, to another aspect, helping, or just a celebration of heaven, and an afterlife that I can say that I did my best here. I let it fall. I let it slip through the cracks for quite some time, but when the chips were down, when it mattered the most, uh, name one other person that would kill themselves or allow themselves a tragedy to help 3 others and not be involved in it. Who would make that sacrifice? Do you personally know anybody that would do that outside of me?
There's not
And I'm
many.
asking you that question honestly. Do you?
No,
No, there's not many. They are
it's a
out
rare thing.
there. There's heroes out there. There's heroes out there. Am I a hero? No, no, I'm a husk. I walk in the bottom so you can walk in the top, so I can keep your feet from being burned. Okay, I was put here to help others by God. God chose me. He chose my soul to step up and to do the right thing. My existence has been known, and I'm, according to them, an integral player in this aspect of surviving this. And this has been predicted for generations in my family. Okay. So the black masses that came and decided whether my father was going to live or die when he had 107 fever said, "This is Larry's father. He needs to live to become his father because Larry's integral in their continuation as a species." If he's not there, it doesn't happen. And essentially what they're saying, right? Does that mean I'm the most important man in the world? No, I'm one little piece of a fucking cog of a machine that needs every fucking cog. And you guys are the rest of the cogs. So get off your ass and do what you're supposed to do. You're slacking behind. I can't do it all myself. Pick up the fucking pieces, people. Do your jobs. Do the right thing. Get out there, fucking make it a better place. Instead of spending $5 on fucking some bullshit, feed somebody.
Cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you pay $10 a pack to kill yourself when you can take that same $10 and feed a family? You know?
Yeah.
So I know it's a weakness and it's a thing, but don't stop me till I'm lying. And we go from there. Hey
Good
D,
night.
how are you? Oh, it's okay. Wrapping up my video blog. Yeah.
Well,
But,
Larry.
that's what's going on. Yes,
Absolutely.
Ty.
Well, no, I was just gonna close it out if that's about it.
Yeah, that is about it. And this doesn't need to be the end. If we need to tweak this aspect or that, another aspect of what's going on, if something was left unsaid, we can fill in the blanks. We don't have to have gaps. I would like to do this to a completion, to where it makes a difference, to where it makes a final cut, as you will, instead of me blubbering my ass off and forgetting what I'm going to say, and or trying to make a good point and losing it midstream and having a brain fart, and then somebody dies because of it. That's what I don't want to happen. So, you and I can work behind the scenes. You
Absolutely.
discuss cleaning him up a little bit, and that's the thing. So we can still hammer on this one and work on our next project together.
Yep. And I still have another
You know.
guest lined up. For those who haven't seen the episode, Joseph with Library of the Untold, you should go and watch that interview and check out his channel, because I'm now that we finished this series, I wanted us to get through this first, but I think we're going to set that up. We're going to talk some more about the aliens and
Okay.
continue this beautiful journey and continue to dissect your story and shed some light on this fucking trafficking, on this fucking pedophilia, on this fucking filth that's destroying the fucking world. And
Yeah, because it's beyond out of control. When they have agencies who can seize your home, delivering children to these motherfuckers, something's broken, and seriously fucking broken. When they can pull me in a room when I leave a job and threaten to kill my parents and my grandparents, shit's broken, pal. So yeah. All right, somebody's texting me and they're not going to give up until they get a fucking answer. So, for all intents and purposes, I love you guys. This will be the wrap up of the uninvited guest. It's not the wrap up of my message to those around us of love and how you choose love and how you choose happiness and you instill it in others. Strive to be a better person. Strive to be the person you want to see. Be the change you want to see. Visualize world peace. All those catchphrases make sense. They stick in people's ear. Why? Because they're true. Because they are truth. They bring forth a message of hope, of humanity, of love. They bring forth a message of completion. And this is what we need. We need to finish each project. We need to be producers of goodness, not producers for someone who is going to just use whatever it is we produce to as a means to destroy this world, because fuck this place, there's another one right around the corner. Because for everybody, that's not true. Most of us don't do interstellar commerce. Most of us are just finding out that there's other planets with life on it. We didn't get taught by Grandpa that these are the Ebens. We've been doing business with them for 3 generations, right? So yeah. And I don't know if I ever told you, but I have 2, a great grandfather and one before him. First name Eben. That's not a name that is. This is not a Pennsylvania Dutch name. Okay, it's not a German name. It's a fucking alien name. Okay, and
It's like calling the space guy something like, I don't know, Elon. Like something close to
exactly.
alien. It's just kind of like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I believe firmly that my father didn't want me as a target because he knew that I was going to be a target anyway. I believe that little French girl that I met when I was 9 years old was betrothed to me as a Bollinger through Bollinger Champagne. And my father, Roy Graham Bollinger, was actually born Roy Dale Bollinger in Oklahoma. Same birthday, same death day. His death day went after because I had a credit card and I used it to buy groceries when I got to Arizona. So they moved his death day up online. But the reality of it is, he died the same minute that man died, born the same minute that man died. And he was namesake. There was a fight, nearly 100 years ago that split up my family. That Bollingers, some became 1L Bollingers, some became Ballingers. But whatever it was fucking ugly. It was nasty, and it was. It's still leaving ripples in my family. But my great grandfather, George Washington Bollinger, started St. Vincent de Paul. Had some major patents and some train parts and shit. My family, Bollinger Motors, owns controlling interest of Tesla. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. You're tapped, you're anointed. And if I would have accepted all these things to be a rich asshole, I would not be telling you to help each other. I'd be fucking sniffing ass out of a fucking wine glass in a mansion somewhere in a haunted fucking villa. And, I wouldn't care, wouldn't give 2 shits. And this is not what they wanted for me. They wanted me out there helping, not hindering. So I gave up my birthright, or they gave it up for me, but they gave me protection for doing so because they knew that I would still be a target. And lo and behold, I was. Been a target most of my life. But yeah, is what it is, buddy. Is what it is. And, if you're from God, I welcome you. If you're not from God, disperse now, because that was your warning. That was your one chance to go, because we're not going to take it anymore. To quote the movie guy, we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. Obey, buy, imbibe, purchase, spend, obey. Yeah, well, you know what? That train's fucking coming into an end, folks. It's coming to an end. And those people better step off. Maybe they should play some Aerosmith. Let's start by listening to Eat the Rich. Yeah, let's do that. So, but I don't want to leave on an angry note. I want to leave on a note of hope, of sunshine, of beauty. Stop and smell the roses. Stop and smell the flowers. Take that breath. Take that breath deep and breathe in good. Breathe in white light and expel darkness. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Push it out. 2, 3, 4. In with the good. You've just been instructed on how to do 4 square breathing. It'll help you. It'll bring oxygen. It'll bring blood to your vein. It'll oxygenate your blood. It'll make what you think better. It'll make it easier for you to concentrate. It can add years to your life. And from there, we meditate audibly. Which is heart chakra. 7 chakras go from your butt to above your butt, your gut, below your heart, the top, your intestines, your heart, then your throat, then your mouth, your brain, the top of your skull, and then out. And we bring it in. Good. We bring it in, bring it into us. We protect ourselves with the pyramid. It's there for a reason, right? We don't have to build the cage around us, but we most certainly can. Down. And we secure ourselves depending on how much of attack we are under. And we focus into our third eye. We decalcify our pituitary gland, and we allow these messages to come to us to help us. And we allow these things into our life, and we are grateful for them. Okay? Now, you've just learned the basis of meditation. Okay? Do that audibly. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 8. It is a scale. Do, from the anus up to the head. We audibly do this as consider it the tuning of a guitar. We don't tune to A440. That's what they had retuned, set standard tuning at A440 musicians. Why? Because it's an aggressive sound and it keeps us mosh pits, keeps us fighting, keeps us arguing, tumultuous. And it puts it back down to an A32, A332 hertz, and which is a calming effect. It is the actual heart rate. It'll vibrate the organ itself, attune your heart and your head, get them working simultaneously, bring them down to where they both vibrate at the same time. And now you are in a healing mode. Okay. You can also heal others. Don't invade their space without their permission. Get their permission first. Otherwise, you're just a voyeur. Don't do that. Don't go somewhere where you're not invited. Okay? Don't be the uninvited guest. Be the helper. Be the righteous. Be the invited guest. So now we have a meditation. We have a way to clean. And how do we clean? We pull this stuff up. We push out the bad. We use our breath. We blow out the good. We attract positive and we expel negative. Do we send it to our neighbor? No, we don't. We put it out there where it cannot harm others, where you can do no harm. And down out your butt. Visualize yourself when you're receiving universe communications or Akashic record or anything like that, a download, whatever you want to call it. Consider yourself, your back as a tube running down your back. And it is the top is to input the bottom is for waste, and we take that accordingly, and we accept it, and we bring it in. We take the bad, we push it out, and we also push it down, and you can see I'm pushing down as I push that out, and I expel that out, and I bring in goodness. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. And we do this 15 minutes a day, 20, 30 minutes a day. When I started meditating, I needed it so bad. I would hum in my sleep. Jennifer would wake me up and say, "Stop it. You're keeping me awake. What am I doing?" She says, "You're vibrating." You're vibrating. You're shaking the bed. You're shaking my body. You're shaking my parts. You know, and that's when you know that you're together with your loved one. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I'm gonna tell you this, okay? And I'm gonna tell the people this, and they could think I'm fucking crazy or not. And this is a glimpse into our personal relationship. I can make a vibration that I can produce that will make her
Oh God.
Orgasm in a matter of a minute or two, hundreds of miles away. And she'll tell me exactly when I did it. Ask me why. Well, she doesn't ask me why. She just thanks me for it. And this is when you're in tune with yourself, when you're in tune with your spouse, your lover, this is a thing. And this is how beautiful life can be. This is how powerful love can be. This is no walls can keep us. No chains can tie us down, because I will be with my love. I will be with you, my baby. I will. They can't stop me. And they can slow me down, but they can't fucking stop me. And every time they slow me down, they just put more fire into my gut and give me more determination. And I will reach out, and I will take those opposed. I will take those naysayers, those evildoers that are doing this for sheer revenge and all the wrong reasons, and I will take them. And I break their bond where you can do no harm, where you can do no harm. And their power's gone. It's just that easy. So last night she came to me. I felt her standing over me. I felt someone standing over me. I didn't know who it was. Friend or foe, I couldn't identify. She's just now becoming with the astral travel. This is something that she's developing on her own, because I'm not there to school her. But like I said, we all have these abilities. All we have to do is believe and become in tune with ourselves and know each other, know ourselves. You know yourself, then you know others. She knows herself. Her letters are beautiful. They are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm so lucky to have her. So fucking lucky that I finally found her before they got her. And, and those of you chicks, those of you pretty little girls, or little strippers, and all those little bad girls that I used to bed 6 a day, because a man who knows his weight, whose worth, his abilities, it shows on my face, and they chase me, and they want part of that. And now control that just drives them fucking nuts. And I become a target again and a desirable thing and whatever, blah, blah, woof, woof, get over it. Get through your daddy issues, make you a better you. You know, I can't marry y'all. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's the thing. We all have these abilities. I reached up and I grabbed her to seize her, to do damage if I needed to. I've caused heart attacks. I've caused death by those coming through channeling to hurt me. And they'll wake up in a box and I'll have them on recordings. Where am I? I'm in a box. What did you do? Old man, what did you do? What the fuck did you do? Why am I here? Oh my God, I'm fucking dead. You killed me. You fucking murderer. You fucking killed me. How could you? You're evil. You're an evil man. Okay. Weren't you calling my wife 2 weeks ago, trying to get her to go to a motel room and then take on these people and split money and all this shit because you're a fucking douchebag? So you create a situation and enforce it, and yeah, you know, jerk. Maybe you're there at your own hand and not mine. And these are the recordings. A lot of them I've gotten rid of because they're just too fucking ugly to have. If you want to know who's good, who's bad, record them. Reverse the recording. You'll find the inflection of our voice speaks both ways. Sometimes we'll speak backwards much more than we speak forwards. And you'll get the truth.
Yep.
You'll get your Akashic record. Don't believe everything you hear. Most of the time, speaking to you in your voice or voice of another is not them, but an inflection of what could be. Don't let it guide your life. However, it is what it is. And it'll be there and it'll always be there. So you people with tape recorders that do audio work, there's a nice little experiment for you. Please don't let it drive you crazy. There are movies about that, letting it drive people crazy. Don't do that. Okay.
And it was interesting when we came to your house. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you remember when we did that? And I showed you that?
Yeah, because whenever I came through,
didn't you?
yeah, but the way it happened was weird. So I'll explain it to people. So you had your little ghost box recording app, and we tried that. And I began asking, you know, like, who's here? Someone with a, some of the standard stuff, which I wanted to avoid, but I couldn't think of anything else. So started asking some questions, and it would
It
ignore the
doesn't answer
questions.
those questions. It gives you what you need to know, not what you want to know. So let me interject
Yeah,
that, okay?
yeah, 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 yeah. And then I'll follow up with that because absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me finish this one thing that I didn't finish earlier. Oh, okay. This girl, I won't say her name. She's from here. She lives in the state that I used to live. Knows several people that I used to hang out with, friends with them. And she was a troubled youth of this pot plant place that I used to have a grow at, and $25,000 investment in it. They lost faith in the church, didn't believe me in the state of law, or that the church has power over the state of, and it does. The church, when it comes to a situation, Oregon law states that if it's between the church and it's between the state, the church wins because it does, and that's Oregon state law. So, they didn't believe that I could grow 100 plants legally. Of course I could. I could grow 1,000 plants legally. I had patience for each and every one of them. And there's 4 sets of cannabis law, blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, the mother pulled the plug, cost me about 25 grand and another 5 grand to mop that up. And I've got my ghost box out and I'm asking, will she get out? Will she get out in time? Please tell me these things. Tell me the things I know, oh great wizard. And I pull up her Facebook, and I'm flipping through the pictures, and lo and behold, there's my old pot farm in her pics. Her dad, guy I used to grow with, son of a bitch. Look at that. Well, there's the tie right there. There's the same tractor I dug 100 pot plant holes with, holding up a fucking deer that he's fixing to gut, turn into venison. And there she is, and there's the fucking farm, and it goes to the next picture, and there's where I grew a little lake that they suck the water out of, and there was my field right there, and the ghost box came on and said, they took advantage of you. As the picture came up, they took
God.
advantage of you. It said, I got goosebumps. I turned on Josh Blue. I laid down. I laughed for a while. I let myself be entertained. I stopped rabbit holing. And I got some fucking sleep. Because otherwise, I will run this shit through my head over and over and over, and I will run myself into the ground. And she begs me, don't kill yourself before I can get out. Stop rabbit holing. You know, stop doing these things. Let me love you. Don't shut me out. You know, everybody's got a past. Let it stay there. You know,
Yeah.
let it stay there. It's behind us for a reason. Our love, our abilities, they're from here, they start here, and they go forward. And with that, everybody, I don't know what else I can say other than love yourself, love those around you, love your neighbor, love your community, love God, whoever you want to call him, her, it. Having spoke with God time and time again, I know God to be an energy mass, one of the three. It's by the pillars of creation. There's three masses. The one on the right, that's our God. It can have a male voice, it can have a female voice. I choose it to be a female named Sophia. And hey, am I right? I don't know. For me, it's right, and it works. And God is great. God is love. I know I might piss people off by giving our male God a female. How dare I? Well, how dare you? Didn't give any fucking. We're made in my image. Is what it says. You know, that's what it says, and that's all it says. And other sheep shall hear my voice. Well, you know what? There are a billion fucking planets out there with intelligent life that blow us away, that make us look like that mean little fucking ignorant little monkeys running around that we are. And now we're to a point to where we can blow up our planet and throw everything off whack. They're paying attention to us. They're going to come knocking at our door. They're going to stop us from killing ourselves, which in turn kills them. Are they going to be our savior? No, we got to do it ourselves. So let's do it, people. It's our time. It's our time to step up. It's our time to do the right thing. Wake the fuck up. And I'll leave you with that. Okay, Ty? That was the last thing I'm going to say in this series. Wake the fuck up, or I'll kick your fucking ass.
Can I say one more thing to you before we go?
Of course.
Thank you for being a good neighbor, for being a good friend, for being a light in a very dark time in my life. Thank you for being the one who was the voice in the back of my head that told me to leave these communist motherfuckers. Thank you for a beautiful wedding. Thank you for becoming my family. And though I haven't met him face to face yet, thank you for introducing me to the Grays, because I think that your story is going to help open that door for a lot of people to where when this shit happens, it's going to be less scary.
Don't be afraid of them. They're not here to hurt us. If they were here to hurt us, they could have hurt us decades and centuries ago. Okay? They're here to observe. They're here to learn why we do what we do. They want to understand us. What makes us so fucking broken? They want their own souls. The little short ones, they want souls. They're jealous. They're manufactured. The large ones, the talls, the taller, not the real tall whites, but the the taller ones. They have difficulty in this dimension. It's hard for them to move around. They created the evens because they work well in the third dimension. And that's why when you're abducted, you'll have one tall who is running things, and 3 evens who will want to hold the thing, and the other 2 will pick you up and put you on, and they take you back through the wall. You go to the ship, and they do what they do, and then you wake up in your bed later, and you go, visitors, I had visitors. Yeah. So, yeah, and you're welcome. I'm honored. I'm honored, and I'm there for you, and I'm proud of you. You're a fucking video genius. There's no reason why you shouldn't be putting out movies every day, as you do spectacular work. You are genius. I am awed by everything you do. Just floors me even more. And then I think he's at his limit. And then the next day, you just fucking stagger me even more again. And why you're not Francis Ford Coppola, whatever, whoever, why you're not running the show, doing the Stephen King movies is beyond me, because God damn it, those people are missing out by not taking advantage of your talent. And just like they're missing out and not taking advantage of the universe's message, which is not my message. This is simply the message I've been given to give you. Okay? Or I'll kick your fucking ass.
He'll do it too.
So here I am with my sourpuss look in my face, and you can put that, and that'll be my headstone shot, or I'll kick your fucking ass.
Larry,
Put it on a coffee cup. Put it on a cup of coffee. Yeah. Just ask anybody. He'll do it too. Okay. Peace and love. As
Peace
we
and love,
wrap
man.
up this interview, only to clear the space for deeper talks about what can we do to fix society now that we have a cleaner head, now that we have a basic understanding of who we are, what our abilities are, what our powers are, what our limits are. Our next little escapade that will begin in a day or so. What do we do with everything we just learned? How do we better ourselves? How are we going to better our lives? How are we going to better those around us? What are we going to do to make this world the better place that we know that it needs to be? How do we reach the tipping point, the 1% that it takes to save this, to combat the 1% that has crashed this planet? How do we become that 1%? How do we make that message come to fruition, become reality for everyone? Well, that's what we're going to explore. That's what we're going to explore. That's what we're going to thrive. That's what we're going to convey. That is what we're gonna kick its ass, man. We're gonna kick its ass. All right. I love you all.
Love,
Yeah.
man. Have a good night.
You too. All right. It's been my pleasure. One love. One love, people. One love.
One love.
All right. Okay.
And all the light will be all the waves, the sea, and on the road